Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Um, okay, thank you. Now the applause has due. What is it? What is it? People like to clap too much. Uh-uh. Did people hear the applause? Anyway, they are backstage. They can hear the applause, but they will not want to answer me. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Um, it's been a lovely week. It's been an eventful week. Oh my god! If I begin to tell you guys about my weekend, people will shock. People will shock. Um, it's another Friday here in Chat Room with Mex, where we talk about things. We're here to make sure you sit back, eat your popcorn, relax, and learn. So don't forget. Type your questions, your comments. Let's know what you think about what we're talking about. Okay? And we have a special guest in the house. This special guest is a real life survivor of domestic violence. But before we begin, you know how we do it. We share, and we keep sharing. We don't stop sharing. People can hear some stuff at the background. He always likes it when I say share, 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 share,
Sure.
share, 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 share. Uh, Ladies and gentlemen, I've just shared. If you are on my WhatsApp chat, whatever, you're getting the message. Straight up. Okay? So the way to share, pick up that link where you're watching from right now, hit share, and share it to all your contacts. All your contacts. They must watch you. They must watch it. Okay. So without further ado, I want to introduce my banter partner so that he can join me to introduce everybody else that we have here. But before then, how was your week? Let us know where you're watching from. Let us know how you're doing. And hey, let us know if you like what we're doing or not. You know, go hard to say, well done, guys. You guys are doing great. You know, so, and hey, you can say you guys are looking good. Know what I'm saying? So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, audience, are you ready? Where's my engineer? Don't play with us, oh. Okay, without further ado, I want to introduce to you my favorite banter partner, Sam Soft. Audience, clap now. Uh, Sam Soft.
The audience, I need to fire them.
Their clap for you was not encouraging.
That at all.
It was not encouraging, my brother. Okay, audience, again,
That's
one,
what they cause depression. No.
I, 1, 2, 3, clap. This one sounds better. This one sounds better. Yeah, this one sounds.
Now they are because I'm in
Okay,
Alaska.
It has two. Now that's even more than the clap. You clap for me. What is
You
it?
want to clap very well because I'm in Alaska.
So, I know you. We know you're in Alaska. We were in the Alaska together.
Your body they pepper you because maybe you come on run lead me for you.
Oh boy, what thing I go do now? What
See
will I
the see
do?
the what do you call it? Special palatables. They are right there.
Hi. Oh boy. Listen, guys. If you watched our show last week, we came to
Hey,
you.
see
Oh,
people.
it was a fruity show. Free show. You know, but oh, Sam Soft, this is not fair. I'm coming back to Alaska. No, you're going to be there. You know.
And everybody's looking for you. Everybody's asking after you. You know, they miss you. They say, tell him we miss him. I said, okay, I
Aw.
will tell him so that his head will be bigger. I told them they're like so excited, you know, and it was wonderful having you, you know.
Did you people hear what he said? So that his head will be bigger. What does that mean? Ladies, is my head size not perfect? Come on. Audience,
I like this jacket. Your jacket is
my head
boring.
size not perfect? Come. Thank you. Thank you. My head size is perfect. Don't mind Sam. So we are starting with me. So, ladies and gentlemen, please, let's know where you're watching from. Let's know your name and just tell us how you're doing. We want to know more about you, okay? We want to know more about you, more. And don't forget, share this link, share wherever you're watching this from, because you could help save a life. So, man of God, without further ado, sir, we want you to introduce our doctor as the technician pulls her up, and then the audience are clapping for her.
Ladies and gentlemen, join me all the way from Alaska. Okay, welcome, Dr. Pulu. That clap, they be like say they are from what do you call this state again?
Please, don't harass the people of God this Friday evening. Hi everyone, glad to be with you again. This is wonderful. We can't wait to hear and to learn new things today. So let's go there.
Yeah.
Why were they clapping like they are from Zamfara State? That they were.
Don't worry, they'll be encouraged. By the end of the show, they'll be encouraged.
They just a clap like that they're from Zamfara State.
You are not the one paying this audience. You are not the one paying this.
Yeah.
Oh, engineer, do you have something to say? No, you don't have anything to say. Keep quiet.
Don't work. It didn't work.
Engineer don't get anything to talk. You don't get anything to talk.
You don't look for the thing.
You know, you hear engineer say, no.
Yes, sir.
Okay, nice. Doctor, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, as I told you guys before, right? Our special guest is a survivor. She's a story that everybody needs to learn from. Everybody needs to hear. Everybody needs to learn everything she has to say in order to save a life, in order to help a life. Listen, you're gonna learn a lot today. So let's before we bring in our guest for tonight, before we bring her in, let's quickly just let's take some few comments from people that are coming. We'll just take one. Let's take one for now. We have Kule. Kule says nice one. He says nice one. Thank you very much. Thank you. Please, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to tell us where you're watching from and who you are so that we can recognize you. Okay? And don't forget, please, comment is very, very important. Share your comments. We want to hear from you. We really do want to hear from you. And in the meantime, take a second to like where you're watching this from. 2, subscribe to that channel where you're watching from. 2, hit that notification tab so you know when we're on. And don't forget to share. This sounds soft.
I like it whenever you're using that you need a sound effect for that.
As in,
right? Doctor, you see, doctor is confirmed it.
Yes.
I
mean, I agree.
Of course, doctor always supports Sam Soft from.
It's not like that. I'm on the side of truth. That's all there is.
You need a side effect. What do you call it? Sound effect.
If you guys want to know if doctor is in the side of truth, go and watch the show from last week. You will see how it helped to be last week. She and Sam Soft, they ganged up on my head.
Oh.
My partner, who was supposed to be helping me, Lillian, decided to be AWOL. No problem. There is God. So, doctor, we want you to do us the honor of introducing our special guest for today.
Awesomeness. Well, hi everyone. Hi again. Tonight we have the special honor of Miss Biodun Bangboye. She is a woman of God. She's a strong woman. She has been through a lot, and she just shines and radiates light and life. And we cannot wait to hear her story. Thank you, ma'am, for joining us.
Tell the audience to clap
Thank
now.
You.
Thank you.
There you go.
The audience, are you people sleeping? What's your problem?
Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Awesome.
Thank you very much, Auntie Biodu. Thank you very much for joining us on the show today to share your story. Um, it's a popular thing that when people go through domestic violence or abuse of whatever kind, they feel so ashamed to come on and give their story because they feel people will ridicule them. They feel people would talk bad about them.
Mhm.
But we thank you very much for actually coming on to share your story so we can learn from it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, woman of God. Thank you. Um, so, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, the panel is right there. We are ready to go. We're ready to go. Where are you watching from? Have you shared? Have you shared? We have Uzovik in the house. Uzovik says, "Hi guys, good to see y'all. Handsome and beautiful faces." Thank you very much, Uzovik. Thank you, thank you. We have Tunde Aguda. He says, "Connecting from Hazel Park, Michigan." Oh, he's watching from Michigan. Hello, sir. Hello. How's Michigan today? How's Michigan? We have Adebisi Oluwatobi. Adebisi says, "Good evening, good evening, good evening." Thank you very much for joining us today. We have Akanji Adeyemi. He says, "I'm connecting live from Lagos,
Oh,
Nigeria."
wow.
Oh, Nigeria,
Hey.
wash hands, wash hands. Okay, he's doing that emoji, that wash hands emoji. We see it as wash hand, but it's wash hand emoji. Thank you very much for joining us on the show. Akanji, thank you very much. Thank you, thank you. How is Nigeria, by the way? Uh, Let me not say what I have to say. If not, doctor will say Minister Mex. Akanji, have they changed the name finally? They don't change it. Have they changed it? Doctor did not hear that one.
No, I don't think you heard that one.
No, I don't think. If not, if she
No,
had it.
I'm just lifting my glasses for you.
Oh, okay. Can you lift it again? Lift it again. Let's see how it goes. Yeah,
Anytime she wear that glasses like this, she dey see things. So
I know, I know. As
I
doctor,
see all manner. Mm.
if I, doctor, you shouldn't be lifting up the glass like that because when you lift it up like that, you make us scared.
Ah,
Yeah, you make us scared.
because this one you are whispering under the. I want to know why you are whispering. That's what.
Okay, let's try this again. I'll whisper and then you tell me if you had it. Then you lift your glass again and then we'll see. Eh? Are you ready? Okay.
I'm ready.
Have they changed? Have they changed the name? Yeah. Have they changed it? Okay. Yeah,
So you
doctor.
see, I've Kuku removed the glasses because of you. I've removed the glasses. Hmm.
Okay. We have comments popping in. We have comments popping in. So we have a comment from Papa Lee. He says connecting live from Warri, Nigeria. Hey. Samsoft, you want greet him? Special greeting. It's Samsoft. Samsoft.
I don't think he heard you.
Hello, Samsoft. Can you hear us? Okay.
Maybe he has muted himself and he didn't
Yeah,
realize.
Samsoft muted himself without knowing. Mm. So, ladies and gentlemen, my brother Papa, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Samsoft, can you hear us now? He's still trying. We have another comment from Annie. Annie says, Annie Pudi Kobe connecting from London. Hi, Annie. Ooh, I think Annie is a designer or I see those beads on her picture. Wow. Those looks that looks very, very beautiful, Annie. I hope you sell them. We might, I do business. Not a go. You know what we're talking. We also have a comment from Abiodun Olamide, and Abiodun says, connecting from Lagos, Nigeria. Welcome, Abiodun, welcome. And he says, hello, well, she's laughing. Levy's Kitchen is in the house. She says, hello, beautiful and handsome children of the Most High. Wonderful to be here again and watching live from my bedroom. Okay. Levy's Kitchen, we see you live from your bedroom. Bola is watching, Bola Ogungbe. He says, I'm watching from Dublin. Oh my God. Wow. Welcome to the show. We have Akanji Adeyemi again. He says, it's all good over here despite the uh, per- per-
Pervasive.
pervasive insecurity up north and in the southeast. We are getting by. Wow, we
Mm.
Thank
Thank
God
goodness.
for that. That's people insecurity, and it's really, really insecure. I'm telling you, my brother. Very, very insecure. We have another comment from Babatunde Oloyede. He says, good evening, everyone. Nice to be here once again. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the show. Annie is saying hi. Hi, Annie. Beauty. Wibie says, Chiamaka. That's God is good. That's God is good in Igbo. Yes, yes, yes. Chiamaka indeed. Chiamaka indeed. Zainab Oluwa Bukola Ata says Zainab Ata joining from Adamawa State. Oh, Nigeria. Hi, Zainab. Hi, Zainab. Yeah, Kiki. Yeah, Adama. I know you cannot believe I know how to speak as a doctor. Eh?
Do you see how quiet I am?
You see how Sam Soft is just smiling. It's like, oh my God, this boy know how to speak outside. Chai. We have a comment from Beauty again. She says, hello, good evening, everyone. I'm just Chiamaka, and I'm watching from Abuja. Oh, you're Chiamaka. Okay, same thing. Potato. She's watching from Abuja. Hi, it's Abuja. Hi, it's Abuja, Chiamaka. Beauty. Hope it's fine. So, wow, we've had a lot of comments. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Keep them coming, ladies and gentlemen. Keep them coming. Don't forget, like where you're watching from. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to hit that
Share,
notification tab so you know whenever we're from and subscribe. Don't forget to
share, share, share.
share. Okay, now to the nitty gritty of things. Okay, we have a comment from Stefano. Stefano Beauty says, "Hello, my mentor, sister B. Hello, everyone." She's saying hello to you, Sister B. Well, let's see that wave again. Let's see that wave again. That's a Queen of England kind of.
Mhm.
Okay.
Like
We got.
she's playing the keyboard.
I know. Okay. We got Kid Bro Steve in the house. Kid Bro Steve. He says,
Bro,
are you
shout out
guys
to
still?
Kid Bro.
Yeah, shout out to Kid Bro, actually. Ladies and gentlemen, Kid Bro has a radio station that does great. You would love that radio station. It plays gospel music all the time, every Saturday. It's called Gospel Connections. Gospel Connections. Join in on Saturday.
Kid Bro,
Yeah,
you haven't played my song for a while. You think I'm not listening, eh?
ladies and gentlemen.
You have
Sam,
not
Coming
played.
for
You have not
you.
played my song for a while. I'm watching you.
Sam Soft is at it again. So let's quickly move Kid Bro's name off so Sam Soft will not remember Kid Bro. Oh, Kid Bro actually was asking, are we still on our world tour? Kid Bro, Sam Soft continued the tour while I had to go back home.
I
Okay?
deported him.
Sam Soft, repeat that again. Repeat that again.
Because he doesn't like to eat grass like me.
Mm.
Did you work this time? Oh?
Of course, it could work. Ladies and gentlemen, when you are in a place where they don't give you food all the time, what do you expect? You eat grass. So, as I was saying, Esther Ido is in the house. Esther Ido says, hello, everyone. Esther joining from Ijebuode. Oh, Ogun State, Nigeria. Hello, Esther. Hello. We have a Baba Dubai. He says, hello from Enugu. Dibal. Baba Dibal. He says hello from Enugu and his
Make I used to eat things.
Sam Soft.
Don't worry, Minister Mex, I'm on your side.
Doctor, I don't believe you. Doctor,
I'm with you.
I don't believe that.
I
Doctor,
see. I don't like to see anybody being harassed, and I don't like the way Minister Francois is harassing you.
is it not
So
the
I'm
same?
with you.
Is it
I'm
not the
with
same
you
thing
in
you
this
said
matter.
last week? It's the same thing you said last week, and you joined that gang
I'm
of
with you.
on.
I'm with you. Don't worry.
See,
Okay, I'll
doctor,
use
I
that
told
and
you
believe
now.
you for now. I believe you for now.
You better stick to one.
I know that
No,
one. Bounce,
I
bounce.
don't. I'm on the side of truth. Wherever truth moves is the way I move. So
That's how the doctor roll.
Oh yeah, she moves with
that's
truth.
what it be.
She moved with truth. Kid Bro Steve said, I play your song every week during the first hour along with Big God. Oh, Big God, my song. Thank you very much, Kid Bro Steve. You see me, I will appreciate you for playing my song every week. Some soft want to, fight you. Me, I'll just tell you thank you for playing my song, Big God by Minister Mex. Thank you. Livy's Kitchen says, yes, so clapping. show is taking over the world. Remains remaining people from Afghanistan and Iraq. Livy's Kitchen. Yeah, you're actually right. We need people from Afghanistan and Iraq to watch this show because it seems as if that's where domestic violence prevails somehow a little bit more. So yes, you are right. Ladies and gentlemen, okay, let's begin. And the tradition of this show, right, is when we're talking and our guest is speaking, feel free to ask your questions. Feel free to type your comments and contributions, and we will take every single one of them. That's why we're here. We're here for you on a Saturday.
Excuse me.
Bless you,
Let's see.
bless you,
Bless
bless
you, man.
Thank you.
you, bless you. Yes. So, Nelma says, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. Please, let's be specific. Let's know what's everywhere. Want to know what's
Exactly.
everywhere? Is it some soft bananas that he just showed us and his vegetable is eating that he hardly eats all the time?
It's hardly eat it.
So, ladies,
Is it your stomach?
whatever. Zainab says, ha ha ha. Lafia Kalo, Adamawa is cool. Ah, she responded in house. Oh my God. It's been long since I spoke outside. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Well, Lafia Kalo means very, very fine. You know what I'm saying? So, well, Zainab, thank you for joining the show. Zo Kiji, I hope you subscribe for. Kerki wasa deni na giamiki. Kina jina, kerki wasa deni ki subscribe. Comment, kumaki like. Yeah? So, Mungani. Okay. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's begin the show. We have this great woman, this powerful woman who has survived what a lot of people would not have survived. 2 weeks ago, we came to you talking about how a woman was actually killed by her husband
Mhm.
due to domestic violence, partner abuse. We spoke about that. If you want to hear all that, we've been talking about this for the past 4 episodes right now.
Mhm.
The show. It's hard to see people survive domestic abuse, come out, and still talk about it. Most people either get mental health related issues, or they get depressed. Depression is part of it, or some of them don't even make it. Some of them will just not want to talk about it because they internalize it. But as we always say on this show, in order for something to live, in order for you to be totally whole, you need to talk. You need to talk. And we will learn from this great woman who has survived. Thank God. And let's just dive into this. Hello, Ma. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thanks. And you?
Oh, I'm great. As you can see, we're trying to do fine. You know, yes. We that are on the panel right now. We've heard a lot about you. We've heard a lot about you, but we want our audience to know you. So let's begin with that introduction. Can you please let our audience know exactly who you are?
Okay, my name is Biodun Bangboyi. I like to be called Biodun. A lot of people just call me Biodun or Auntie B. I live in Belgium. I'm the mother of 4 young adults. My youngest just turned 17 a few weeks ago. Um, yes, what else? I'm half Nigerian, as you can see. I'm half Dutch. Um, uh, but I grew up, I was born, bred, buttered in Nigeria. So I consider myself fully Nigerian.
Mm,
Um, that's who I am.
nice, nice, nice. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ma. Thank you. If you know how to speak Dutch, say hello in Dutch. Just say hello in Dutch.
Hello
Huh?
in Dutch is hello.
Yeah, hello.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Alles goed.
Hello, Scoot. Hello, Scoot. Hello, Scoot.
Alles.
Oh,
It's like
oh,
English. Alles goed is everything okay. Alles is all. And
yeah.
goed is good.
Could want to
All
sound
good.
could want to sound like one of those vegetables Samsoft is eating.
You're right.
Samsoft, show them the vegetable.
like a banana.
I'm telling you. You are eating salad with banana.
Yes, now.
Oh God, please watch it too. No wonder when I was with you in Alaska, some things were happening.
I saw the beer. And I saw what do you call it?
Mm.
This
So
thing. So the beer came and it was roughed in
the trash.
the trash.
Yeah, yeah. So Olu Shola says
Wildlife. This is wildlife right here.
oh yeah, Alaska. Olu Shola says good evening everyone. This is Olu Shola watching from Ojibo, Ogun State. We also have Odukami Esther says Esther from Ondo. Welcome, 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 Esther. Welcome. Kid Bro says all is good. All is good. Aderonke says hi, sis. Hello, Aderonke. Hello, Aderonke. Welcome to the show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So yes, let's continue. Ma, so we know that you have a lot to share with us today. And we want to give you the floor to really talk about your experience. But I would want doctor to take over this segment for now. Doctor, let's do
All
it.
right. Thank you. So, Auntie, just like we said before, Minister Mex said, would like to hear your story. So if you'd sort of there'll be no interruption. You'll be able to share your story, and then we'll listen. And then if people have questions when you are done, then we can entertain questions. But feel free to start at the beginning, and then just tell us your story to where you are today.
All right. Thanks a lot. Well, I want to start by saying that my case of domestic abuse was not physical at all. At least I can thank God that I wasn't beaten or hit or provoked into any form of physical violence. I think the nearest we got to any form of physical violence was once.
Is my go-to sales.
And it didn't escalate, fortunately. However, it was severe emotional and mental trauma. And I'll try to explain what that was for me. The first thing it meant for me was that there was a lot of deception in the marriage. And unfortunately, I didn't realize until things had gone bad. I'll give an example. When we got married, when we met, I knew that my ex-husband, he's now my ex-husband, I knew that my ex-husband had been married before. He told me he'd been married before. He told me he'd been divorced. He showed me divorce papers, and then we got married. We'd met, he was already based in Europe. I was still in Nigeria when we met, and, we had that kind of relationship. It wasn't until 3 years after our marriage that I decided to travel to Belgium. I traveled to other countries, but I decided to travel to Belgium to see him, and I filed for a visa. It was when I got to the embassy. Actually, the ambassador asked to see me, and I found that very strange. And I went to the ambassador's office, and he called for my ex-husband's file. It was a thick file, and he told me straight to my face, like, "Madam, do you realize that your marriage certificate is rubbish?" I was shocked. We'd been married for a while. I had a child before we got married. He was 2 then. But by this time, he was about 4 or so. I think it wasn't quite, was about 4 years old then. And I was shocked. Actually, I didn't know what to say. I asked, "What do you mean my marriage certificate is null and void, is useless?" And he told me my ex-husband was still married, legally married in Belgium. He showed me all the documents, and that was the first problem. I should have been warned, and I should have fled. But by this time, I was pregnant with our first child. I thought, what where do I go and start from? I mean, everybody knows me as a believer. I was a minister in the church where I served. I'd gone through the process when I'd met him. I'd met with my church leaders. We'd prayed together. I hadn't gotten married in secret. I tried to do everything by the book. Why was this happening to me? So, of course, I called him in shock. Like, what? You faked divorce papers to show me? You went that far? And he smooth talked his way. I couldn't afford to lose you. If I'd let you be somebody else, but you can't just let this end now. You're already pregnant and all that. I remember I went home. I was a mess. I went to my dad. I just cried and cried and cried. And my father was, God rest his soul, he just, anything I went through, he would ask me to make my own decision. And whatever I decided, he would back me up. So he told me to go and think about it, what I wanted to do, and let him know. So I went back to my base. I was based in Benue State then. And I talked to people, friends, and I just decided, okay, I'll keep on with the relationship. So no, I don't remember the details where I was then, Benin or Makodi or so, I don't know. But he now decided, he made a commitment to file for divorce in Belgium. He lived in Belgium then. And then come over to Nigeria again and we get married properly, which is what he did. So when after that happened, he filed for divorce, got it, and then came back to Nigeria, and we did a very small registry wedding. So I have two marriage dates. August 31st, 2007 was the first one. And the second one was on September 8th. The first one was 31st of August, 1997. And then the second one was September 8th, 2003. So you can see the gap. It took a while. By the time we would have, by September when we would have the second marriage, yes, I'd had two children already. Just to give you an idea of, the trauma that I was going through in my mind when I'd found this out. Yes, when I found out, I think I already had my first child. I was pregnant with the second or so, something like that, which is why I thought, oh, this is stupid. I mean, and then because we lived apart, I can't say I really knew my ex. I thought, apart from this, which I thought then was a small issue, well, he's not a bad person. Each time he came to Nigeria, we had a good rapport. We did things together that I look back now and I can't believe how somebody could put up such an act. There was a time when I lived in Benin that I was going to two churches. I would wake up at 7 a.m. to go to Chris Oyakilome's church because it was very near me and they had a very good pastor then. And then I was attending Foursquare. From then I would come back home, get the kids ready and go to my own church. And we would do all this together. We'd sneak out of the house like we were going to do something bad, leave the kids sleeping with the girl living with me. We'd go to church really early in the morning. We'd come back. He was the one that would insist, oh, I'm around now. Let's make some outfits together, that kind of thing. So he was much older than me, but a lot of people didn't know because of the kind of friendship I thought we had. Mm. And then some years after that, it was a year after we got married the second time that I now came to join him in Belgium. By this time, I was pregnant with my third child, our third child together. And when I came to Belgium, things went wrong from the first day. First of all, things what I expected was not what I found. He was working, but from the first week we arrived, he told me something in Yoruba. He said, "Oti debiti oju olomo otu." In other words, you've arrived at a place where the eyes of your parents cannot see you. And I used to ask him, why do you say this? Why are you saying things like this? He made some really scary comments at my first month there. I was pregnant. I was 8 months pregnant. I had 3 young children. My oldest was 9. Then I had one of 4, and the youngest was just a little less than 2 when we came. And this guy he was living in a studio apartment then, and he knew we were coming, and we stayed in that studio until I think we stayed in that studio for 4 months. Hadn't prepared a place, so you can imagine me I came from. I wasn't poor exactly in Nigeria, so we had all the comforts. My kids and I were used to basic comforts. We were used to space. Now we were in a studio on, I think, the 3rd floor of an apartment block in Brussels. There was nowhere for the kids to play. I was moody. I was 8 months pregnant, hypertensive, and he would go out to work. According to him, he was going to work. He would leave the house by 7 a.m. and he would come back by 1 a.m. And each time he came back, of course, I would be sitting like panicked. Where did this guy go? I couldn't reach him. I was at his mercy, let's say that. And I was at a loss for what to do. This is where things started. I couldn't understand. I thought I was coming to Belgium to meet a husband who was my friend. If I complained, he would tell me, if I asked questions, he would tell me, was I not taught that nagging is not quality in a wife? Okay. So, I started watching. I did everything to keep the kids busy, or he would come in and complain. My house has never been this dirty before. I didn't know you work. You and your children have come. You mess up everywhere. I don't know what you are doing all day. And I would think, what? You leave me in a place like this, a studio. I mean, with 3 kids. Anyway, it went on like that. So the first thing I asked was like, so which church do you go? I mean, let's begin to walk into your church family. They spoke French in Brussels, which we didn't speak, but I thought, well, if we're going to stay here, no harm in starting to learn the language from a church. He didn't attend any church. He didn't have any, there was no church to attend, and he gave me a warning. He told me one of the Ojuolomoto principles was that this is Europe, and all that nonsense you were doing in Nigeria, don't come and bring it here. I don't want any church people coming to mess up my home, coming to destroy my home. I'm here to build my family. And I thought, what? Huh? You tell me that? I've pastored. When we met, I was a minister already in church, and you're coming to tell me, what? I thought, me. Anyway, I'd made up my mind, okay, let me try. I'm not very known to be a very obedient person, but all this submissive something they are talking in the Bible, maybe I should start trying to adopt it small. So apart from that, I didn't know anybody, I didn't know anywhere. So let me say I was submissive by default. I had nowhere to go. So, there was no church. There was a friend of his whom I'd met some years before. She came to visit. Once when he came to Nigeria, she came with him. So I asked about her. That was the only name I knew. 2 people who'd been to visit Nigeria and had come to see me. Maybe one of them was a Nigerian who came and he sent something to me also. So these were the 2 people I knew. And I asked about, can I see this lady? So she came. She wasn't a believer when she came to Nigeria, but she had become a believer after then. So she told me that this is the church she attends, and she was very glad to see me. That it was from after her visit to me that she started attending church and all that. And she came on a Sunday morning. My ex-husband was at work then. He went to work at least that was what he said, he was going to work. He was at work every day. So she came and she said, let's get ready. I want to take you and the kids out and we'll go to church. And from there, I can take you to a park and all that. I was so excited. So I got ready and all that. She spoke French. We managed to communicate. And because she wasn't a new face, it was easier for me to relate with her. So I got the kids dressed. I packed up. I got the baby dressed. I'd had my baby by then. My baby had been born by then. This was like a month after, maybe 2 or 3 weeks after my baby was born. So I got everybody ready, and she called my ex-husband to inform him that she was taking us out. I heard his voice from, speaking to her over the phone, yelling. I don't know what he was saying because he was speaking French. And I just saw her put the phone away from her ear, like, huh? And I thought, and then she just told me, I'm very sorry. I can't take you out anymore. I'm very sorry. I have to go. I thought, why, Celeste? Come back. Tell me what happened. He said, Emmanuel is unhappy. He's angry about it. I don't know what I've done. And she just left. And that was the last I saw her. I've never seen her again since I've been in Belgium. And I think 2 or 3 times we spoke, but that was all. And that was how it went for the 4 or 5 months I was in Brussels. Then he got another place and we moved to another town where we moved into our own house. Once again, the house was far below expectation. I couldn't imagine. I couldn't even believe it. I walked into the house the first time and I burst into tears. I've never seen filth of that kind before. He bought the house without ever stepping in to look at the house. He looked in through the window when he went to inspect the house. He was going for an unbelievably cheap price and he bought it. He didn't know how many bedrooms were in the house when he bought it. He didn't know the state of the house when he bought it. He signed and took ownership of that property without even stepping in. The first time he would step in, I was with him with the 4 children. And that included a baby of 2 months. I've never seen filth like that in my life. On the floor in the living room when we entered, I can't describe it, I can't describe it. I can't describe what it cost to clean up that place. And he expected me to do it. And to make matters worse, as bad as it was living in that studio, we moved into that new place like that. And that was me and the children. Because it was outside Brussels, he gave the excuse that he was going to go to Brussels. He was still having to go to Brussels to work. So he kept his studio in Brussels. And he would go from Monday till Friday and leave me and the kids there in that place. I knew nobody. I had no money. I had a phone, just a mobile phone. I was with 4 kids. And I was living in this house that was a pile of filth. We'd cleared 1 bedroom, we'd cleared the kitchen, and my kids and I were living in that bedroom and kitchen. We'd cleared, like a bathroom, cleaned the bathroom. So every day I was taking care of the children in 1 room upstairs. We couldn't stay in the living room. The living room was where we'd used to, in trying to clean the house, piled all the rubbish in that house. It cost us close to 1,000 euros just to empty the junk in that house. But while we were there, while we were living there, I don't know why he was in such a hurry to move us there. But it became a big issue. When I complained, he said I was telling him that he made it into the fact that I was insulting him and I was not being a good wife and being willing and able to manage with my husband. I had postpartum depression. Recently, I was talking with my kids, and my second son was telling me, Mommy, do you remember one time you beat Olakiton? Olakiton is my youngest. And I said, I've never forgotten it. He was still a baby. I was trying to feed him. He started vomiting, and I started shaking, and I was beating this child. My oldest son had to take him from my hands. I stopped breastfeeding. I stopped lactating. I was in a mess. I didn't know any doctors. I didn't know any hospitals to go to. I was all alone with the children. He would come in on the weekends. When things got really bad, he brought in a boy to work in the house while we were there. So, like, to start making repairs and all that. It was, now I have to, say something even more traumatic apart from this, which will help you understand the state of my mind when I came. I actually left Nigeria because I'd been through I'd been raped by an armed robber in my house. Just, I think, a year before I moved, or less than a year before I moved. So I wasn't in the best state. Yes, about a year before I moved. And I remember that when the first day he told this boy, it was a Polish boy, to come and stay in the boy was to be staying in the house and fixing the house while we were there. And I told him I couldn't handle it. That day, the first day this boy stayed in the house, I stayed awake all night. I was sitting down, clutching my knees, just sitting on the floor. I could hardly breathe. When I called him the next morning and told him, I can't handle this. I'm breaking down. I can't even take care of the kids. He was very upset. He would just tell me to suck it up. You are not in Nigeria. Lepami. That was his answer to me, that I couldn't kill him. He's at work trying to raise money for the family, so I should do my bit, So this boy was staying. I can't remember sleeping well. I knew I needed, apart from that, I used to think I was claustrophobic. Living in that house cured me of all my claustrophobia, because there was no garden. There was just a solid wall at the back of the house. The only entrance to the house was the front door. The only window was outside. So I would put a chair. When eventually we cleared the living room, I would put a chair by the window and just stare out through the window, and I would be wailing. I don't understand the kind of trauma my young son was going through. Fortunately, the other kids started school, but I was carrying a baby who was supposed to be breastfeeding, and I was just weeping. At a point, normally they would send health workers to the house to check with a newborn baby. I refused to submit my address because I knew we were not living in sanitary conditions, and I was going for the controls myself. They noticed that the baby was losing weight. I was not lactating any longer. One thing after the other. The strongest feeling I remember having, and sometimes I'm still triggered by little things. You will be surprised how much the feeling of being alone can become traumatic.
True.
And can be, I don't know, one other thing my ex-husband used to use as a weapon was silence. So if he felt I'd offended him, he just wouldn't speak to me. I could be speaking with him, he just wouldn't respond to me, and until I go to beg him, and then he would tell me to go on my knees and beg him. I would go on my knees and start begging him, I'm sorry. I don't know what I've done to offend you, but whatever it is, I'm sorry. And then he would start telling me, oh, stubborn, you're just stubborn, you're just this, you're just this. And it was one complaint after the other. There were times he would be away. I wouldn't be able to reach him on the phone for 4 or 5 days. Some weekends he wouldn't even turn up. I would, of course, you can imagine, I would start calling, finding out where he was. When he comes back on the Monday, he would be very angry. Am I a kid? Why would you be chasing me around with a phone call? If there's anything wrong, you will get to know. Don't stress me and all that. It wasn't until much later I found out, that I never believed. Actually, I think I was really stupid and naive because I never imagined that my ex could have an affair. It never even crossed my mind. I remember a friend of mine telling me in Nigeria that, like, aren't you scared that your husband is far away from you? And I always used to know now. I mean, should I expect him to be scared that I'm far away from him? And I really absolutely never imagined or thought in my wildest imagination. You have to understand that I also thought he was a believer when we married. So these things I was confronting were totally new to me. So I found out, I'll cut the long story short, I found out that he was having multiple affairs, multiple. The one that broke the camel's back is the one that blew everything apart, I think. I don't even know which one it was. But the major one, because, you get to a point of no return. And for me, there were certain things to the point where I knew that I couldn't, they'll tell you, forgive this, forgive this. There was a point where I knew that forgiveness didn't cut this one. I could have forgiven that one. I've forgiven quite a lot. But this particular one, each time I still think about it, I know. People ask me, what if your ex-husband comes back? I said, I don't care. There's certain things just can't go. Never. And I'll give a bit. I discovered a line of affairs and we were battling over that. So the marriage was already shaky. When he would be on the phone in the house and he would I would hear him discussing about his aburo who is in the hospital, lying in the hospital. I didn't know who he was. I didn't know he had an aburo in Belgium. And so I never really intervened. There were times he would take the children out and they would come back and tell me that he took us out to a hospital to see somebody on admission. In fact, there was once he took them out to the hospital and my oldest son collapsed from the smell in the hospital. And, he had to, the hospital had to revive him and then he brought them. They told him not to bring children of this age to the hospital again. So when they came in, they would tell me that Daddy took them to see this guy in the hospital. And from there, they went to see one auntie and so on. I didn't even bother. I mean, I'd already found out about these affairs. So eventually one day he called me. He came home and told me, this is who and who and who is in the hospital. He was in a fight. He was stabbed. He's in a very bad state. He was in a coma. He was kept in a coma for like 5 months. And when he recovered, when they were, trying to get him back, he had to learn to speak again. This was a guy of about 28 to 30 years old. Wasn't exactly a child. Well, I don't know how he was related to my ex-husband. I mean, he told me that they were related. And then he came home one day and said, I should help him look for a place for him to put Ayo in. Ayo was the name of this guy. Otherwise, he will have to bring him home from the hospital because he's being discharged in 3 days' time. I said, and if I don't find the place, you bring him home to us. Now, the house where we lived in, myself, himself, and 4 children, was a 2-bedroom house. The 3rd bedroom was something like a corridor, and we just created, personally, my own hands redecorated that place so that my oldest son could have the semblance of something like a room to himself, So we didn't even have the space. We didn't have a garden. The house was so small and cramped. The next thing, 3 days later, I just came in and there was this guy in the house. And of course, his normal outing, wake up in the morning, go out, come back at midnight, continued. So I was left in the house to take care of this young man who was learning to walk. He was just learning to read and write. Sometimes I had to take him to his speech therapy classes. I was washing his clothes. We were doing his laundry. My kids were, I lost touch of my kids because I couldn't sit down with my kids to do assignments. I couldn't focus on my kids anymore because of this young man. He stayed with us for 10 months. In that time, I never saw a member of his family or anything. When he would move out, I found a place for him to move to. It was a friend. They were letting up part of their house, and I got this place, and I would cook for him. I would make egusi soup or bono soup, stew, cook beans, and put in his freezer for 2 weeks. I was doing this every 2 weeks. While a few months before this guy left, he asked me one day, "Madam, do you know my sister?" I said, "No, do you have a sister?" He said, "Yes. My sister, she's in Germany. She always comes to Belgium." I said, "Really? Has she ever been to this house?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Really? I don't know. I didn't know you had a sister. I've never been told you have a sister in Europe." And I asked him, "How are you related to my ex-husband, now ex-husband?" He said he doesn't know, but his sister told him that he's an uncle. Okay. "What is your sister's name?" And he mentioned his sister's name, Mochi. I thought, what? I've seen this name. I added his own surname. I said, "Your sister is Moji Akinyemi." He said, "Yes." I said, I've seen this lady's name on so many things with my ex-husband. This name is one of the names that I have been asking about. I said, "Your sister is Moji?" He said, "Yes." I said, and he said, she will be coming. He couldn't understand why his sister had never come to thank me for the way I was taking care of him. So he was confused, and he, but his cognitive abilities were not yet totally back. He used to go with me and my kids to church. Sometimes he would tell me, "Auntie, I'm not going with you to church. I'm going with my sister to church in Brussels. Uncle will take us." His sister used to come from Germany. She was married to a German. His sister used to come from, was it Germany or France? I don't remember. For the weekend, and stay in Brussels, and then they were going to Mountain of Fire. My ex has never gone to church with us. He was going to Mountain of Fire with this lady. And then Ayo would go. So this is how I got to know that Ayo's sister had been dating my husband since 2004 when I arrived in Belgium. Initially, she and her husband were living in Portugal, and he used to travel to Portugal a lot then, telling me he had a close friend there. Then he stopped traveling to Portugal when he told me his friend had moved to France. Mind you, she's married also. And her husband saw him as a family friend or a family member. When she came to Brussels, they rented an apartment in Brussels, both of them in his name. I found out all this much later. So that is the point where I got to. I thought, you brought in your concubine's younger brother to live with me, created a burden for me and my children for more than a year. When eventually everything would come out, this girl, then he started to, there were a lot more things. Then he started accusing me of adultery. He told people that he caught me red-handed with a man in the house. He told people that I was, I don't know if you guys know about Chat Room Ministries. I used to be really active trying to pro in Belgium. there were times, Capro ministers would come, or, I would have fellowship in the house or something. He told people that I had one man after the other in the house that pretend, he told all these stories, went on and on about me. In fact, he had gone, the church I was attending, he had gone to my pastor, he had told him that he has caught me red-handed a few times with guys and all that. Then I started finding, at a point too, I started finding juju in the house, serious artifacts. I found, I can't count. I mean, including the incantations that, you have to make on them, horn of cow. Look, to be honest with you as I am, I don't really give a damn what a person believes. But if you can't boldly say I am a traditionalist, that means you don't believe that thing is good. There are traditionalists who will beat their chest and tell you I'm a traditionalist. I respect them absolutely and completely. But when you deceive me into believing that you're a Christian, and then I find all this, and then when I raise it up with him, he would tell me, in fact, there was a day I found things in his car. I'll give one. I mean, I tell this story because I don't know how else, I've never known how else to explain it. I had a pain in my foot. The only way I can describe it is if you've read the story of the Little Mermaid, that fairy tale, when the Little Mermaid decided to turn into a human being, but every step she took was so painful she would shed tears of blood. That's how it felt. Because I couldn't walk from my living room to my kitchen. It was that bad. I went to the hospital for over a year, and I was still having to go and pick the children from school. I couldn't drive. He never let me touch the car. I used to drive in Nigeria. Up till now, I'm 17 years in Belgium. I still don't have a driving license because of the period of what I went through in that time. I wasn't allowed to even touch the car keys. If I mistakenly took the car keys and said, let me go shopping, it would be, did I buy a car with you? It would be a bit, you would think it was something else. He owned as much as at that time, this digital cameras were just coming out. He bought a digital camera. I would want to go for an activity in the children's school. I would take his camera. It would be an issue. You want one more idea? Oh, you people should not. It was me and my children own this, so I had to go and buy everything. I had to buy for myself and my children and leave my ex-husband's own. If I cooked and he was upset, he wouldn't eat, and I would have to throw the food away because there were certain things he ate that I didn't like. So I wouldn't, it went on like that. He started accusing me, I'm a bad wife and this and that. And I was trying my best at that time to even pull all my, everybody knows me as a staunch feminist, to put it all aside. There was a time I would set an alarm for 12 midnight. If I had to put my baby to sleep, I would probably fall asleep. I would set my alarm for 12 midnight to wake up so that I can go and cook for my ex-husband that would come in by 1 a.m. because he wanted his food hot. And because, can you imagine? I didn't know where he was coming from. Then I would come down, cook, pack it in a cooler, set the table. He complained that I serve his food. I expect him to serve his own food that I woke up at 12 midnight to cook. So I would set the table. I went to buy new placemats, bought new dishes. I went that far. I don't know what woke me up one day and told me, Abiodun, Omo Baba Bangboyi, is it you? Somebody is treating like this. First it started with when we moved first, I stopped. I wasn't going to church until one day I told myself, this is rubbish. If I want to go to church and I want to take my children to church, nobody is stopping me. I just found a church and I started attending. He threatened to call the police that I was, exposing the children to this. He called my younger sister. He told all sorts of lies about when they will call me, I'll say to her, please, nobody should disturb me. If he wants to call the police, he should call the police. That was how I started attending church. There were times to stop me from going to church. Early in the morning, he will wake me. Biodun, Joe, please. That's when he will become nice. Joe, that your akara that you used to make, can you make akara for me? I'm dressed too, ready to go to church in 10 minutes. I'll tell him, okay, I will make it. Tell the children, go ahead. Tell them I'm coming. Then our church. So things like that, those ones are even considered not a problem.
So you married
but when it got to the juju, I was telling you the story of that, my pain on my foot. For a year and a half, it went on like that. Then one day we discovered that, and then that was another thing. There was an issue with the mortgage. When I started working, I started paying every other thing. He was only paying the mortgage of the house. So I was taking care of every other bill. Then one day I discovered that there was a letter. Fortunately, I didn't go to work that day. They had already fixed a day to auction off the house we were staying in. Wow. He hadn't paid for almost 2 years. So I started running around, and that day we had a meeting with the bank. So we went together in the car to the bank in Antwerp, in another city. When we finished, and that day that foot was like, it was like I was shedding blood. He was the one telling me, won't you call the doctor again? And won't you? So I called the doctor right there where we were, in the car, from the car, asked for an emergency appointment. They had to schedule me in another hospital because my doctor was not at the normal hospital where he would be. I was ready to go there that afternoon. So I scheduled it for like 2 p.m. or so. This was in the morning. We finished the meeting in the bank, and we got back to the car. I told him to please, let's do some shopping. The African shops were better there. We did the shopping. Then he just parked the car somewhere and told me and my daughter was with me then in the car, that we should wait for him. He has to pick something. He actually told us to come out of the car and go and wait for him in his store. And I told him, no. If you want us to wait in the store, you give me the car keys so that when I'm tired of sitting in the store and you're not coming back, I can just go and sit down in the car with my daughter. I don't have a driving license, so I can't drive the car back to Belgium. So it was on that condition he gave me the car keys. He went, we moved around in the store. It was a small African shop. I bought some snacks for my daughter and I told her, let's go and sit in the car. We sat in the car. So I wanted to put some music for her, and I put my hand in the glove compartment by the driver's seat. The first thing I would pick was a horn tied with red cloth.
Yeah, well.
Yes. So I thought, is this where we keep it now? Because I packed quite a lot in the house and already disposed of them. So I put my hand again. I started checking through. Then I found, these very big matchboxes. I found one and I just opened it. There was another smaller horn. This one was tied with red and black. And the incantation for it was folded in it. It was from a Babalawo in Oduowa in Kwara State. Wrote the name of the Babalawo there with the incantation. It was one with which you can command and somebody will obey you. I'd found some that was Oshe Yonua Awagba. There was another one for blindness that whoever he uses it for will not. There were a lot. There was a time I packed items in a black poly bag, Nigerian poly bag, really big, like an Aldi bag. I called my pastor then because if I told anybody, they wouldn't have believed it. I called him. We prayed over it together, and then I threw it in the dustbin. Actually, my pastor said I should leave it for him. I said, no, not in the same house. If he was a traditionalist and I accepted to marry him as a traditionalist, I won't have any say in the matter. But you can't tell me you are somebody and then you become something else and you just expect me to lie fallow and just accept it. No. If you bring it into my house, because it is both our houses, if he didn't understand that, I was going to make him understand. You bring it into my house, I'll do with it what I like. If I bring anything other than a Bible into your house, then you can do with it whatever you like. That was my policy. So I found this and I just left it in the car. He came in, we drove back because my daughter was in the car. I didn't make a fuss. We drove back. We got home. He offloaded the car and he told me he was going to park. And I said, go and park, I'll go with you. He parked and I said, I found some things in your car. He said he guessed. The way I was just silent on the way back, I didn't even make a statement. He knows it. What is my business? Yeah, he's doing his own. I should be doing my own. I said, it doesn't work like that, my friend. This is not what we agreed. So I went back into the house. I picked up the phone and I called his best friend in the UK that I was very close to. And I told him, this is what I saw in your friend's car. So he came in when I was calling his friend. In fact, I waited for him to come in and I called his friend. So he just started screaming on the phone. Don't talk to her, because anybody to come. It's my life. I can choose to live my life. When I finished, I didn't mind him. I said, do you want to speak to your friend? Call him with your own phone. Then I called my father. I said, Dad, this is what I saw in Emmanuel's car. And I told him. Then he started shouting, Daddy, I have to protect myself. I know the kind of family I come from. He went on. I said, if you want to speak to Daddy, call him with your phone. Don't harass my life with this. So all this came in. At that point, he had been pretending still with his relationship and all that. He had never really been open with this side of him to me. At that point, it was like public. We now declared public warfare. So there were a lot of times I would be in my bedroom praying. Once he hears me praying, he would go downstairs and start doing his incantations. There were times I would call my dad and tell Dad, I'll just put the phone on speaker and say, Daddy, just listen. This is what is going on. So it went on like that. Until I think even then I hadn't even filed for divorce, but I'd removed my wedding ring. So one day he came and there was no physical contact between us any longer. I remember one day I actually sat down with him and I told him, hello. There was one time I sat down, I told him, I said, look, for the sake of the children, let's stay together. But let us know between ourselves that we are no longer married. This thing is finished. He said he noticed that taking off my wedding ring. I said, you have never worn yours for a long time, so let's not even go that place. We'd gotten to the point where I was no longer angry. I was just fighting for my survival. At this point, I was about 43, 40 something years old, but there was a friend of mine she's 6 months older than me. They used to call me auntie because I looked like I was 60 years old. My hair had turned gray, almost absolutely completely. I'd lost every form of confidence I had in myself. I'd been reduced to the bare minimum. I didn't have a job. I was in a mess. I was practically fighting for my life and the life of my kids. And unfortunately, I was also nasty to my kids because at that point, you're dealing with something and a child comes to meet you with this. First, please, just leave me alone. And I look back now, I realize that the children took on a lot of the trauma I was going through. He was also really nasty to the kids. So, and I had to be the buffer too. I remember there were times I told the children, like, you mustn't be upset with him. It's not because he's not that he hates you. It's just that he's not capable of loving anybody. That was the truth. He didn't and that was what helped me. I realized that this guy was not lying to me because he hated me. It was because he didn't have the capacity for truth. My ex-husband was, I don't know if he has changed now, if there's a miracle that has happened. My father used to describe it somehow. He says, if this guy tells you, he says, oh, my parola, in case you that he would tell tomorrow's lies down in advance, just in case he's not around tomorrow. That was, if he says good morning to you, just look outside. It's likely to be dark outside. It's likely to be night. That he was just a compulsive liar. There were lies he would be telling in front of me, and I would wonder why. Or for what use? You can justify some lies and say, okay, you said it to tell. Somebody will call him and say, Benny, where are you now? You say, in fact, within 2 minutes, I will be in Brussels now. I'm just driving. Guy man is sitting there in the house eating. And I would just be looking like, huh? When I want to say something, say, okay. So when he drops, I'll say, why should everybody know where I am? I would just I couldn't make sense of a lot of things. The day I decided to file for divorce, now you have to understand, all of you are from a Christian background. Divorce is something you don't talk about. The day I decided to file, I wanted to file for divorce at a point. And I told my dad, and he was very upset. I don't want you to go through this. This is really terrible for you. So I left it. I didn't want to do something to upset my dad. But I got to a point, there was a day I was so angry. I also called my dad and told him, this is an anger I can't describe, because I'm not just angry. I am possessed of the spirit of anger. There's a difference. At that point, I knew I could kill somebody if I wasn't careful. So I avoided him. There was a day I told him not to step into the house. I just called his phone. I said, don't come to the house today. He had never heard me talk like that before. He called his sister in Nigeria and told the sister, Biodun is threatening me. He was still doing shakara. They called me, Biodun, what's happening? I said, if they know they love their brother, they should tell him not to step in this house today, because I can't trust myself. So if he should stay away. He stayed away for 3 days. The 4th day, he called my son, my oldest son, to find out if I was at home. That one said I'd gone shopping. He quickly came in, picked clothes, and went away. He didn't come in. That was one time that all his shakara, he knew that something had shifted. I also knew something had shifted, and that if I didn't do something about myself, I was going to lose everything. I was going to lose my children, who meant so much to me. I was going to lose the marriage I thought I was protecting. I was going to lose my own life. When it got to that point, he traveled. His mom died. He went for his mom's funeral. And in fact, we were still talking to each other. After all this, so I was still talking to him. I still kept up his, semblance of let's still make it work. We'd already talked about divorce. He told me go and file for divorce and all that. And I'd gone to meet him one day and said, are you sure I should file for divorce? He said, sure, no need. Personally, I don't want it. Okay. I said, let's start being friends again. So we started talking again when he went for his mom's funeral. When he got there, one day he just called me up and said, Biodun, has daddy called you? I said, no, what is happening? He said, well, I reported you to him. I said, really? You reported me to my dad? Over what? He said, well, now when he comes back home to Belgium, he wants to tell me that things will change, and that things have to change, that all these men that I'm bringing in has to stop. That was the day I went around looking for a divorce lawyer, and I started the proceedings. And it was hell. He made that divorce process hell for me on earth. But that was for me the beginning. I didn't tell anybody. I didn't consult with anybody. He was the one that started telling people when I filed for divorce. I just went and filed. So that's the story up till that point. And that was, the divorce happened, the divorce was through in 2012. And I'm telling you that I'm not totally covered. It's been a big battle. It still is. Just to get basic things done. I lost all confidence in myself. And you can imagine this is not a story you tell everybody. It's not a story. Somebody will come and ask you and say, Sister Biodun, as a believer, you should know you shouldn't be divorced. I always say yes. I had people tell me, sister, you're a believer, a minister, you should have exercised more patience. We have to make heaven. Pray for me. If your desire is for me to make heaven, go on your knees and pray for me. If I am going wrong, you that is going right, go on your knees and pray for me. I learned not to give excuses or tell stories or anything. It's just because I'm on a show like this that I can share this.
God bless you.
So I don't know if people have questions.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. Minister Mex, do you have any questions or do you want me to chime in?
Doctor, you can jump in.
Okay. All right. One of the things I thoroughly appreciate about your story is you remember Minister Mex had said somewhere in the past 2-3 weeks, we'd been discussing domestic abuse. And at some point we discussed how abusers behave. And your ex-husband fits that personality to a T.
All the pattern.
To a T. And I'm so glad you're sharing this story, because I told Minister Mex before we invited you that for many Nigerians, for many Africans, we do not believe that abuse has happened in an intimate partner setting unless there's physical violence. But here you are sharing just an awesome story, but with no physical violence whatsoever. Yet severe trauma, severe abuse happened. That's why I'm glad we're sharing this story, as in it's like I'm watching a horror movie. That how is it possible that one person can do this much damage to another human being? Minister Mex, I think you have questions.
We have a lot.
Before you go to the question, sorry, I would just want to also thank the lady.
Hold on.
Sorry, I'm sorry, viewers. I came in late. Hi, doctor.
Hey, I'm hugging you. I'm glad you came.
Thank you. Can you turn off your volume a little bit?
Hi, Sunsoft. Come on.
Can you hear me good now, Sunsoft?
You know I love you guys.
Yeah, turn it up a little bit more.
Yes.
How about now?
Oh,
you good?
Yes.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm introducing to you my partner, the one that always defends me before.
Yes.
It's nobody else but the one and only Lillian.
Thank you.
Love you. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, Lillian.
Thank you so much. Love you guys. Come on,
yes, we have a lot of questions.
You're looking nice.
Thank you.
We have a lot of questions, and I and Samsof will share these questions. We would read the questions out and comment, because our viewers are the reason why we're here. Before we proceed, we would need to hear what they've been chatting about. It's been a lot, like it's about 68 comments, and we're going to take every one of them, every single one of them, just because we love you and we respect you all. But in the meantime, people, before we go ahead, please, if you have not subscribed to this channel, please do so. Like the channel, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit that notification tab so you know when we're coming up. And lastly, don't forget to share. This is important information that everybody needs to know about. Everybody needs to learn how to handle situations like this. That's why Chat Room with Mex is here, so that we can learn from things like this on a wonderful Friday, where you just sit at home. Instead of going for a seminar, you're sitting at home getting this right at your fingertips. So let's go with our comments. Let's see, who are we going to start with, Seth? It's a lot. Oh my God, I'm just scrolling.
Somebody asked a question in the.
Hold on, I'll pull it up. Okay. So we don't jump anyone's comment, because if we begin that way, then we're gonna skip people's comments, and a lot of people will now begin to send me private message. Oh, you did not read.
You left my comment out.
Yes. So let's begin from here. Okay. Let's begin from
Take it from after the greetings. You know
yes,
this.
I'm moving away from all the greetings. Okay. Uh hmm. Wow. Okay.
I think you
Let's
should
just
take
start.
it
Let's start
from
from here.
yes.
Let's start
So
from here. So we're gonna begin from here. Uh some sort you want to start reading?
I was just about to say that his pretense at home was the fear that your father had eyes on you.
Mm,
Wow,
Yeah.
great topic, man. Then Morenindi said again, what would one not hear?
Hmm.
Larry said, you are beautiful in and out, and everything
yes.
you said is true. Nothing changed from your private conversation with me during the time.
Mm.
Hmm. Then this one speak Yoruba, right? He says, wash
Wash
hand.
No,
hands.
that's emoji. Wash hands emoji. Isn't that
Okay.
Yoruba? Let's
This is
go.
a Yoruba I speak. Oh. Then Muridi said, Jesus, chai, controlling spirit.
Mm.
Oh, I can just imagine.
I can't just imagine, yeah.
I can't just imagine. Kayo, this is serious.
Mm.
Mm.
You know, when you are talking about your sharing your story, these are their reactions.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
their reaction to the
Then
story.
Muridi said, chai, sis, Bayo, you went through hell.
Yeah, she did. She did.
God have mercy. Hmm, this is saddening. I can relate to this man because I felt this at one point in life.
Mm.
Okay, we will need to
You have to
talk.
come
We
to
will
the
need to
show.
talk to
You
you.
have to
Yes, you
Moringindi.
gotta come to the show. Okay,
yes.
you gotta come to the show because we need you.
Maureen,
We
you have
need
to
your
come to the
story.
show.
Hmm.
Share your story.
So yeah, so the way to contact us will be down on your screen very very soon in the next. It will be scrolling on the screen. Don't worry, you'll catch it. You'll
She's my
catch it.
sister. I can't find her.
Oh,
Oh,
there
good.
you go.
Oh,
There you go.
awesome.
There you go. Awesome. 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 So let's keep going with the
I,
comments.
yeah. Oh my God. Chai, how did you survive all this and still standing tall with
Mm,
successful kids? God bless you. The breast, the breast won't even flow. Hmm. That's when you were going through, the
yeah, that's
stress.
the postpartum
Yeah,
depression.
Mm.
All those
yeah.
things.
Silent statement is as deadly as death.
Mm,
Knowing you
Hmm.
know, knowing you know nobody around, Chai,
Mm.
Lord. That's a very, very scary thing though.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Then he just wanted to bring you to a point of worthlessness so you
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
will see him like God,
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
risking your life.
mm,
Absolutely. You were in a variable state when you met him. Chai, unrepented cheat. Hmm. that brother, that brother is in trouble.
he will get all the
We
botanic
taking
items
care
today.
of his side chicks family. Chai. Are you kidding me? But that guy is too. I don't understand. It went so extreme that he was bringing his child's kids baby
So
to the house.
is that part of the comment? Is that
No,
part
no,
of the
no, no. I'm just like, the
let's
comment
finish
is
the comment.
reminding me of
Minister
a
Max,
saying.
do you want me to write the names of the people that you're going to contact later? There's another potential here.
Okay, please go ahead.
Then Jacinta says, "Good evening, everyone watching from Nigeria, Abuja. This ex-husband was from the pit of hell.
Ah,
You are a good woman in and out. Oh, that's the old one. Okay. Imagine
Oh, dear.
what does he believe? What does a believer look like? The
Mm.
devil goes to church. So how do you identify who he is?
mm,
God of Israel.
Good question.
That's always the case. They they forced to throw accusations to cover their mess.
Yeah, please let's take note of the questions that we're getting so that we can answer them.
Oh, Sister Bayo, God didn't bring you this far to leave you halfway.
Mhm.
Mm.
Wait, God, Sister Bayo, you just give me more low hopes with your depth of story. No, Lord, this was too much for one soul.
Mm.
You are really a strong woman, Auntie Bayo. Atibiodun, thank God for your life. This is heartbreaking to hear. This is from Lafayette Hayes. This is heartbreaking to hear. Thank God for rescuing you from that type of person. You're brave and so courageous to be able to share your story live. Bless you. Chai, Sister Bayo, I'm just loving you more and
Mm.
gathering more hope for your storyline.
Mm.
Please,
Mm.
where this man from come?
Bit of hair. Someone has already answered that.
Somebody answer that question. Is
No,
this
no,
man
no,
still
no.
alive?
I think the person meant
He's a
what is
Nigerian.
his heritage, as in what state is he from in Nigeria?
We
Oh,
just make
really?
jokes. So somebody answer now.
Uh,
Yes.
It
we'll answer
doesn't
it.
matter. They are all the same wherever they
He's
come
from the
from.
pit of
Yes.
Eritrea.
I've never seen Nigeria.
This person had a reason. I know them. That's why I asked.
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
he's a
No
Nigerian.
problem. Let's see who go
Is
in.
this man still alive?
He
Yeah,
is.
he is.
He turned you into a mumu. No, she's
Yep.
not a mumu. Thank God for your boldness, Sister Bayo. Jesus, God bless you for this revelation, man. You
That's my
are
sister.
preserved from every evil in Jesus' name.
Amen.
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 Now my sister
Mommy,
be that.
I will use this
And my sister too.
I will
Which
use
one be
this
your sister? I don't see my
commander to
last
command him too. Eh?
name. Hmm.
Jesus Christ.
Hmm.
How can you even develop emotions with all this? Oh no, I can feel your pain. And that's exactly what he wanted.
Hmm.
Oh jeez. This one is laughing. Maybe when you were saying something about uh, you made a joke,
Yeah.
telling lies in advance.
Yeah, that telling lies in advance was very funny. He will lie for tomorrow.
It's like he's lying in advance.
In case he will not, in
Unbelievable.
case he's not home.
Uh,
Exactly. Unbelievable. Telling lies in advance. Oh, two people already knew that you waited for so long to take that right decision.
Yeah.
And that's the world's better divorce.
mm,
Not hate, just that the person lacks the capacity to love. That's something else.
It is.
that's what she said, and they quoted her.
Yeah, don't push a woman to the point of no return.
Mm, mm.
Thank God you finally did. I'm so happy for you. You can never go over all this, Sister Bayo. It can only take grace to be still alive.
Oh yeah.
Glad you did when you did. Chai, Sister Bayo, I almost lost my breath. Please, is this still alive? Because me, I don't have a forgiving spirit to.
Uh, as a Christian, you should
As
have
a
a
Christian, you
forgiving
have to listen.
spirit.
This, even in our show, we're talking about
Mr.
forgiveness.
Mix.
Because when you
Doctor,
forgive,
doctor.
then you
Mr.
can be able to
Mix.
heal from
Yes,
your
it's difficult. It's difficult. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. But
Mhm.
let's finish all these comments.
love your loads, love you loads, sis.
Tempted to be eaten.
Wow, thank God for seeing you through the storm and bringing you out safe.
Engineer, don't be too fast now.
The
What's your problem?
Lord is your strength and power.
Mm.
It is not a movie, oh.
Oh, he was actually like a movie.
Sister Folake, tell me about it. Biodun Pele, you really passed through. Yeah. God will surely visit and turn this around for you. I thank God for your life. If he is in Lagos, Allah will be like bicycle.
Ah.
You are a brave woman, ma. God bless and heal you completely. You are a strong woman. Sis Bayo, in fact, you will be my therapist, please, child. Deep and deep. Wow. Marriage is another high school.
Oh yeah.
I can
Shouldn't be.
relate to a story because I am also in a toxic marriage right now. Oh,
Lillian.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Biodun, thank you for being so brave and variable sharing your story. I love you. Loads, Tolu. Tola. I'm sure you want to hear mine too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh.
You have gone through so that others will not have to.
Mm.
Praise God for his story, for your story. What a sad and heartbroken story. I'm dealing, my darling sister, this is Vic. I I call you, I tried and tested purified gold.
Mm.
Call you a tried and
Tried
tested
and tested
purified
purified
gold.
gold. Okay.
Mm.
Yes.
Leave
Thank you.
that,
That's true.
leave that Christian thing, oh. You don't know me, oh.
Oh
Agbero.
boy.
He says
I'm
she be Agbero. No wonder you feel joy every day.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Thank God he brought you out.
Hmm.
Wow,
Mm.
Precious.
ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your comments. Thank you for your comments. You see,
Okay.
we value your time, and that's why we read every single comment that we get.
Mhm.
Every single comment we get, we read it because we do value your time. Um, Now we're gonna go to the next segment of this show where we would be talking to this great woman who is a survivor, and I hope you will still keep listening and keep paying attention. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not yet subscribed, please and please, right from where you're watching, subscribe to that channel, hit the notification tab so that you will know when we are coming on and when we
Mhm.
have the next content for you. Because this is what we do every Friday, 4 p.m. American time. That's Eastern time. Convert it into into your time zone, and that's when we come on every Friday. So please and
Mhm.
please, if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification tab so you know when we're coming on live to you, and then don't forget to share. Right now, there's something I noticed from her story. Even though she touched on it a little bit, just a little bit, as someone who is very vast in the psych world as a psych nurse, I believe that actually had a big part to play in the whole moving to Belgium and the marriage as a whole. And that
Mhm.
was when she got raped by armed robbers. But for now, I would step back and let Dr. and Lillian talk. Doctor,
Mm. What would you like me to address? Is there something you want
address.
me to address specifically?
Let's begin by addressing the question that people have.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
then, yes, and then we would now go on to talking to our special guest on how to fully get that liberation, because she stated something and she still feels the hurt, she still feels the pain. It's normal, but we would get to that. So let's begin by addressing the question first.
Okay. All right. Is there a particular question? Do you want to start from somewhere?
Yeah, you were taking the questions down, so you can start from anywhere, anyone you want.
No, the question that I noticed was that one that I brought up, and I found it interesting that the person asked, where they were from. But so what the other question that someone mentioned, they were like, okay, that why did she stay that long? Did
So
I
long,
miss it?
yeah. Yeah.
Did
Yeah.
I see that? Okay. Something that people say a lot that, oh, if you are in a toxic relationship, just up and leave. It is never that simple. It is never that easy. It really isn't. Something I mentioned, like I think 3 weeks ago, something that abusers tend to do is that they ensure that their victim is in a place where they are isolated and they have no social capital or social help whatsoever. That in itself makes it extremely hard to get up and leave. As you heard our sister say, they lived in a place where she literally knew no one.
Oh yeah.
And so at that point, where was she to go? And she didn't speak the predominant language of the place at that time. I want us to begin to, so that we can begin to empathize when we hear of abuse situations and not just say, wait, just get up and leave. It does not work that way. It really doesn't. It really
The other
doesn't.
thing, let me add to that, is that one other reason why I didn't leave when I did is because I always say it, I shared the misconception that a lot of believers have about the love of God. And I always tell people now that Jesus died for a human soul, not for an institution. Especially not for an institution that will not survive earth. There is no marriage in heaven.
No.
There will only be souls in heaven. Christ died for the soul. When we prioritize the existence of an earth-bound institution above the life of a heaven-bound soul, we are all totally in error. A lot of churches, and somebody asked me this, like, this your stance on divorce, because I speak very strongly on divorce, for divorce. I don't talk about separation. I'm a divorce advocate, and I'm very proudly so. And a pastor asked me, this your stand on divorce. Can you find scripture for it? I said, John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believes in him will not perish, but have everlasting life. Only who, it is a who. The Bible makes it clear that there is no marriage in heaven. The marriage we are also killing ourselves to protect. That every church will tell a person, sit. It is earthbound. The Bible says we should set our hearts on things above, not on things below. But we set our focus on preserving an institution that is earthbound at the expense of a soul that is supposed to live for eternity. I held on to that misconception also, because this is the tradition to which we were raised as believers.
Yes. So
it is the biggest error of Christianity.
Okay.
Let me quickly jump in here and say this, right? Number one, this show was actually created for a reason, and it's for reasons like this, to gain clarity, not just look at things just from the church perspective, but also from the way that things are actually supposed to be looked at, not just from the religious side. My own concern that I have is this, ma'am. Abuse, very bad, very, very bad. But do we make divorce an easy thing?
Divorce is not easy.
When I say easy, this is what I mean. Because now we have different generations, and we see people getting married and getting divorced in 2 days, all because someone got angry. You see?
Better.
Better.
Why do I say better? Yes, it's better. Why do I say that? The earlier you realize that you are in a thing, you have entered something that could lead either to your death, insanity, or to the loss of your salvation, run.
So how do you know?
The sooner you discover, you will know. And let me tell you something about divorce. I think many people have the misconception that divorce is easy. All over the world, divorce by law, by structure, by its method is more difficult than getting married.
Yes.
It is much easier to get married than to get out of it.
True.
Go and try divorce in Nigeria. It is hell. People spend more than 5 years trying to get a divorce. Even in the US, even in the UK, where you can do divorce by mail order, divorce is not easy. It is not cheap. There is no human being who has gone through divorce that took it as an easy way out. It has always been well thought out. Many people come, when I meet people who speak against divorce, it always with this assumption that somebody just woke up and divorced. It's not done. It's not possible. It's just not possible by law.
Not in the
structures.
Can I come in?
Can I jump in?
Yes.
So thank you so much. Oh, Minister Sam, sorry, permit me, right? I'm so itchy to jump in. Thank you so much, Madam Biodu, for sharing your story. You know, I have a little experience. Of course, I'm not going to share my story today, but there are a lot of things that, or a few things that I want to point out here. I know people were asking you, why did you stay so long? And I wrote something down. Because we're looking at this generation now, the jet age. They are not taking nonsense. You love me, you don't love me, I leave. I can take care of myself. So when people are younger, I got married. Maybe I'm saying this on air for the first time. I don't want to share my own story today. I got married very early too. Coming to America, a month, 2 months, I didn't know what to do. But my mother told me something. My mother always told me something that you must go to school. You must be an independent woman. If you marry and it is not working, I mean, she's not encouraging separation. If it is not working, make a decision to leave. And with that mindset, as a very young girl, my mom was dead. When I came over here a month, 2, get as it in, they take a leg. Nobody told me. I stepped aside. So what am I saying? For younger people, and that's why this generation, they are not tolerating that bull crap. Excuse my language. If you know, do what you're supposed to do, they will step aside. But when people are older and they are with children, or maybe they are not like, those people are too exposed. When I mean exposed, not that they didn't go to school. And like her situation now, please, you guys don't understand. This is somebody who, Christianity, they don't put her inside your head. Read the Bible, give you about divorce. Say it is a bad thing. It is tough for them. But do you know the truth? Sorry, I'm a woman of God. I love Jesus. But the truth being told, a lot of these pastors who are telling us these stories, their children will not take it. Their children will not take it. If there is any mishap in their marriage, then they separate. And they'll do it wuru-wuru, you will not know. So the truth of the matter is, there are a lot of women, Christian women, so to say, in quote, who are suffering in their marriages today. They're non-believers.
Dying.
Because the men, most of them are monsters. And they don't spank some of these women, just like her own story now. They emotionally drain them, confuse them. You see a lady, a young girl who is married to a minister, she don't confuse. She can't even dress well to church anymore. And she'll be praying, but she doesn't know what to do. And see how they start, just like she was explaining. They will make sure those women don't associate with other women because they know you will teach them. So they just try to brainwash the lady, especially when they bring them to overseas, abroad. So it's not only in Belgium, even in America here, they do that. So they brainwash the wife and say, these people are not good. Or you see this sister that is painting her lips, she's devil's cousin. Don't mingle with her. They don't take them anywhere. And silently, they are torturing them at home. We are not here. This show is not here to say, oh, we're endorsing divorce. But if you are experiencing emotional trauma, that does not mean that there is no quarrel in marriage. People quarrel in marriage. People argue in marriage. But look at what she is going through emotionally. And not even that, madam. Please, I praise your courage. But at the same time, please, our viewers, if you are in this situation, don't stay that long before you seek help. We're not saying leave, but seek help. The reason why I say so is that kind of a man can poison the woman.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Somebody who is bringing the mistress's brother to live in the house and you are nurturing the person. Madam, God give you patience from heaven, no? Because it's not everybody who will take that one. I must not demand saying that your proper relative or cousin before you will live in my own house. It's not
Okay,
possible.
for time constraints,
You understand?
for time constraints, Lillian, for time constraints. Samsov, let's hear from you.
Okay, go ahead, please.
First of all, I want to thank God for your life. For God was able to rescue you out from that situation. All I want to contribute is that I know that divorce is not easy. Even the emotional aspect of it is very tough. And my contribution is that as every one of you, the reason why we bring them stuff like this to this show is for us that are watching to learn so that we don't fall in a situation like this. But if you're already in it, so that you can know how to get out. And then if you are just getting in, so that you can know when to get out. And then when you see a sign, like we all remember in our show, we show you, we talk about the signals and the signs. Don't force yourself into it. Don't don't allow anybody to say it's the Lord that says you have to marry this person. Do not go by, the Lord says, I saw it in my dream. Even if you see them in your dream, it doesn't, because sometimes you can have things in your mind and you see it in your dream. It doesn't mean that is your husband. So you have to be able to tell if this is not your man. I'm just because I know that it's better not to jump in than to start fixing it. It's always very tough.
Yes.
So my
It's
advice
very
for
tough.
everyone watching, when you see this sign, don't ignore it. Don't ignore it. And then like when Lillian is saying that seek help. In a situation, the man blocked all the help. He blocked all the help. He didn't want her to have any help. So there are some people there watching and they don't even know how to get the help. So when you are in a situation like that, you need to summon courage by yourself, which she did, because the man was a native doctor inside his house. That's the
Yes.
native doctor putting all those things in these places and other places. God, I just thank God for your life, and I thank God for you coming to share your
Yeah.
testimony.
I have a
Let me
question
just,
for Miss Madam Biodu, please.
yeah.
Lillian,
Sir.
hold on, man, hold on. We're we're running short of time. Before you
Can
ask
I
your
just
question,
say something, please, to respond to your issue
go
about
ahead.
divorce? There's a question I want to ask and I want to answer it. When should you stay in a bad marriage? And there's a very major thing that anybody, if you're in a marriage that you're in pain now, because it is possible to have a terrible marriage when both of you are good people, just from misunderstandings. And they are not, it's just maybe clashes. So how do you know? The first and major signal is that both of you will be ready to work on the marriage. So you can say, okay, we are having quarrels, this is going too far, it's like we should scatter it, or we go for help. Both of you must be ready to go and seek for help. When only one, that is the biggest signal to know when to fight for your marriage. So, like you said, it's not every quarrel that you will just get up and say, okay, let's scatter it. You will regret it because you might be
Because
losing a good person.
that was where I had an issue with, because
Yes, that's
if
what this
everybody
is
gets
the
up
issue.
after they do this thing
No,
and
no,
want
it
to take,
can't. It's not even possible. That's what I'm saying. The law does not allow you. If you know what you go through before a lawyer will even file for divorce for you, you have to understand what it means. I won't go into that. But the truth is, that is the biggest symbol for you to know whether your marriage can be worked on or not. Are both of you willing to put in the work to seek for help and to work on it. If one person is willing and the other is not, that is the biggest red flag. It's not only flag, it is a flag, it is a signboard, it is a red everything that you should know that you are in a problem, you are in a marriage that cannot be saved. One person, it takes two to tango. Marriage is about two people. If both of you are not ready to work on it, one person will be building and the other person will be tearing down. It's
All
a
right,
very
ladies and
frustrating.
gentlemen, you're hearing this. You're hearing this live from Chat Room with Mex. We are not divorce endorsers, but we tell you the truth the way it is. And we try to give you the best of advice that you would choose to listen to or not. We have comments coming in, and obviously we have to take our comments, and then we jump to Doctor, and then we jump to Lillian, who's going to ask her question. Samsoft, are you ready?
Did you at any point fee? What does that mean? What does that mean?
No idea.
No, I
Let's
think the person didn't finish typing because I
yeah,
think they had something in mind, but they didn't finish typing it.
This
yeah.
is hard to totally get over it. I asked where they are from because I am doing a research about a particular state in Nigeria.
I told you.
But you know,
I will answer that privately. I'd rather not indict a state publicly.
Yeah, that makes
It is
sense.
a process, and everyone gets their back up the wall of different times. God bless you for sharing your story. It's never easy to just get up and leave a situation like this. God be with you, ma'am. What if the marriage pushes you into the position of no reasoning so as to commit murder? Will you make heaven? No.
Mm,
The
mm.
No.
earlier, the better.
That's a deep question.
What did you get married in the first? Maybe
I think the person wanted to ask
when
how,
did you
when,
get
or how.
married in the first place?
Yeah. Okay, let's go with this one.
Divorce is never easy in Nigeria. That was how people in Nigeria try to get a divorce before you know the woman was pregnant and the judge asked her to go home and meet the man that always beat her to death.
Mm,
Hmm. The main thing that people need to also understand is about spiritual attachment.
Mm,
Divorce is never easy. There is a cost and it's traumatic and emotional. Pastors are even top abusers. I'm not chewing my words. Demons on the pulpit.
mm,
I'm so glad you are emotionally better now. I'm so glad. They use the submission verse to brainwash women to mumu point.
mm,
This is why many people don't want to get married today. Not that it's too much drama, but proper relationships are not being trained in the church.
mm.
Thank you, ma. Feeding your killer.
for feeding your killer.
Yeah, Sister Lillian, thank you. That was what I told my father-in-law when I said, "Didn't you call yourself a child of God? So go and beg your husband." I responded, "Sir, if your son did well, let us pray that your daughter will get the kind of love and care you
It
got from your
was.
son."
Mm,
Una, thank you. You you know you are not married like this for Niger. Now biggest stigma. Kukuma be my middle name.
but like,
Adiola,
we need to talk to you for like, we need to talk. We need to have a chat. We need to have a
Sister,
chat. I sense
Sister
something in that statement.
Adiola,
We need to have a chat.
exactly. Sister Adiola, exactly. That use your faith to keep you in. They use that faith to keep you in bondages.
Mm.
Did you at any point feel like ending it all by ending your own existence?
Mm.
Many
That's a,
times.
that's a
Okay.
deep question.
Mm-hmm.
Only grace took Sister Bayo out. What did you get married in the first place? Why did you get married in the first place? In Africa, they always think in the woman to do all to see what marriage work. What's this?
In Africa, they always think it's the woman's work to do all to see that the marriage works, even
Okay.
at the risk of her life.
Sex should not be this reason.
For
I thank God for your life. Agbon Biodu.
Egbon, Biodun.
Agbon
Biodun.
Biodu. Our little gold. Nice one. Nice one. We should not forget to point out the demonic violence in gender neutral.
There you go. That was actually where I was hoping this would land. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your comment. Thank you for your comments. It's been lovely. It's been lovely. We always try to make sure that this show does not go beyond an hour, but as you can see, we're always failing because we also have to respect you guys for commenting and reading your comments and all that. It's a lot, but hey, you're here with us. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. Okay. Now, before we move over to Doctor, the men watching this show right now, I'm sorry this looks one-sided, but we all know it's not be only women they abuse. Women sometimes they abuse men too. And women could make the marriage more frustrating for the man. Sometimes. It's just that most of the times women speak out. So, gentlemen out there, if you have questions, please ask it. Now, doctor, my question to you before you proceed is this. Why do you think it's common that women that it's been seen that women are more abused than men in marriage?
Okay, first of all, like you said, because thankfully, because of modernization, more women are feeling emboldened to come forward. But we all know that abuse, like the gentleman mentioned, is gender neutral, meaning there are men who are being abused in their situations, but they don't feel emboldened or, they don't feel safe enough to come forward to share their stories. We're hoping that at some point, someone will feel emboldened enough, a man, to come forward and share their story so that they can give strength and encouragement to other men who are being so abused, especially knowing the culture we're from. But yes, abuse is gender neutral. The reason why it seems as if it's only women's stories that we hear is because more women, thankfully, are feeling emboldened to come forward to talk about it.
When our sister was giving
I'd like to add that actually,
go ahead.
Sorry, the scientific evidence shows that a lot more women, a higher percentage of women are affected by the gender-based violence than men, more than double the numbers. So that is why it's not just because it's true abuse is not gender, it's gender neutral, but the truth of the matter is that we have over twice the number of men. Women, there are more women, twice the number of men that are abused in marriage. You find more women abused. For every one man that is abused in a gender-based in a home situation, domestic violence situation, you find 2 women that are abused.
Okay.
That is basic statistics.
When you were
sometimes,
talking,
sometimes the men,
go ahead.
The men tend not to really speak up, even when the women are very abusive. The women, women tend to be some of them tend to be very abusive with their mouth.
Yes.
And your mouth can affect the man's mind.
And
everything we are talking of, like what we've talked out to date, is about abuse with the mouth.
Yes.
That is emotional abuse, verbal abuse, emotional abuse is with the mouth. But for many men tend to excuse physical violence by saying they were provoked with the mouth. Now, why didn't I go physical when my ex-husband would insult me? It's a power structure.
Yes.
There are there's no excuse for violence of any form. There is
None.
no
No,
justification
you don't understand what I'm
for
saying. That's
violence
not what I'm
of.
saying.
I
I'm
do.
not saying.
I do.
I'm not saying
Whether
that.
it is a woman that insults or a man that insults, it is wrong. It is
Yeah.
wrong for anybody to generalize and say most women are more abusive with their mouth. It's not true.
Mhm.
You will find women that are insultive. You will find men that are insultive. And that kind of abuse is recognized as emotional and mental abuse. It is
Mhm.
valid. If you
Yeah.
Because
know any
if
man going
to
through this,
I
to
think
some
with what Sam
point,
Soft
to
is
some
trying to
go
explain,
ahead.
if I might jump in, what
Please
Sam
jump in.
Soft is trying to, explain is that, I don't know if I can bring out a little bit of what is in his mind, is that most men that are being abused, they find it hard, even sometimes, to speak out
it's true.
Mhm.
because it will make them less powerful and make them like, oh my God, is it a woman? Like where we come from culturally,
Yes.
men are looked at as the powerhouse. They are stronger. So when you now come out to tell a fellow man and say, see how my wife they do me, they say, are you that woman rabbaish or what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
So because of that ego, some men don't actually report. But I also agree with you, Madam
And
Biodu.
hence the reason why the research result could be
It's
No,
false.
like exactly.
it's not.
But
It's not true.
agreeing
That's
with you
not
too,
true.
women
Hold on.
agreeing with
I've
Madam
seen
Biodu.
situations where women, I've seen like multiple women will tell their husband, see as you did, this, that. That's all abuse. But you will
I
not
agree.
see those men, coming out to partake in those research. Because to men, as a man, I know that if a woman should use such words, it's an abuse. Over time, it sticks, it stays. But because of the ego that it's surrounding the man will want to downplay it. Abuse, downplayed or not downplayed, is still abuse.
I think we're
But
coming
it
at the same
depends.
problem from just different angles.
Mm.
I think we're coming at the same problem from different angles.
Yes, and also
What Auntie is saying is that this research you're talking about, realize this is not just stuff that either been done in America. We're talking about stuff that's been done in America, in Asia,
Globally,
in Africa, believe it or not.
generally.
In everywhere, there are simply more women who are in abusive situations than men.
Sure. Agreed.
That's
And,
and
it.
the
and
reason
also,
being that patriarchy is a worldwide thing. The
Mm-hmm.
power structures have upheld that
mhm.
men have been in control on the home front generally, and power gives people just more leeway to abuse. It's not because I'm trying to be a woman thing. It's just the basic fact.
It's just the way it is.
Patriarchy is, yeah,
Okay,
it's just the way it is.
I agree with you, ma'am. But do you know that in America, the women have more power than men, right?
Oh yeah.
Women have more control in the United States of America than
And
men.
men.
And I
Yes.
thank God that
Say
they
that.
did it that. Let me finish. I thank God that they did it that way. The reason why they did it that way, because they assume okay, the man is stronger, and they give the woman more opportunities so that the woman can be able to express themselves. But guess what?
It's tilting.
They, they take advantage of it,
Yeah.
and
Women are now
they
becoming the
know,
abusers in
and
America.
they become the abusers.
It's true.
You see what I'm saying?
That that is
Yeah.
in America. What is the
Mhm.
ratio
But
of America to the
exactly.
world?
Exactly.
So I
Can I
mean,
ask
it
a
is
question to
true.
me, Madam Biodu?
Go
Yes.
ahead, you.
Because to me, when I
We are
look at
shaking
some
the
of
table. We
this,
are shaking the
We're
table.
shaking the table. It's part of shaking the table.
when I'm
Let
looking at
us
some of
shake.
these situations, when I look at some of these situations, sometimes I like to go to the little bit of the grassroots. So I wanted to ask her,
Yeah.
how much did you know this man? I'm not saying that you can date a man for 10 years, 20 years and don't know him. And
Mm.
you can date a man for 3 months and still have a swell time in your relationship.
Mm.
How much did you know this man? And I always tell people, even as a Christian woman, please, sisters and brothers, if you're not married and you're looking for a partner, Don't just look for a brother or a sister who is in the church saying Robosco, Robosco, Shanga, Shanga, Shanga. No. Pray to God. So say, God,
Lillian,
God,
you have come with your
give
language.
me a man or a woman that fears you. Because a lot of people go to church, they don't fear God. And also, when I asked that question to her, before I'll leave her to answer, most men are not taught how to be men when they were growing, especially in our culture. There's no mentorship. So, madam, how did you meet this man and how much did you know him and a little bit of his character?
Not very much, actually. Because like I said, he was in Europe, I was in Nigeria. So most of our meeting, and he came on a visit, our courtship was long distance. Our marriage was, but I knew his family quite closely. In fact, we met through family, through a family member. So I knew his sister, his immediate elder sister, was married to an uncle of mine. So I knew the family quite closely, so you would expect that family connection would be sort of a buffer, because I knew his aunt, I knew his sister, and I was quite close to her, and that was how the relationship started. But even beyond that, and like I explained, you were not there. We were married. We were married twice. Even after we were married, I spent the first 6 years in Nigeria and he in Belgium. And he used to come on visits. And he had been a believer before he totally backslid. I later found that out from his friends. He had even been in the same church I was attending when we met. He had been a believer in Foursquare. So he could speak the lingo. He knew the names of pastor this, pastor this. He had been taught, he was taught by Pastor Badejo before he became, big in, he knew people. In fact, when I introduced him to my pastor the first time, my pastor was first initially against him until he spoke to him. And then he was like surprised, like, he's a Foursquare. This one is he has Foursquare background. So I actually went to the elders in my church. I went the whole mile before we got married. Took him to my pastors, took him to this, I tried to act according to the book, I had my reservations. And this is something I like to tell people because I was discussing with a sister recently and I said, one thing we don't teach people is how to listen to their hearts and to their intuition, because many times we forget that everything we are is of God. God gave us our intuition. God gave us those feelings in our hearts deep down. Something didn't agree. And I didn't have confidence in my own body and in my ability to listen and in my ability to get things. I thought I was just being suspicious. I actually had a dream before we got married. Before we got married even. I saw him in a Babalawo house. And he was the one asking, the Babalawo was sitting, it was a red place. I've never forgotten the dream. And he was asking questions. And I went, the next day I confronted him. I said, what do you go and do in a juju priest house if you're truly a believer? And he looked at me and said, I've always known it that you're very spiritual. When somebody is a liar, just babe, they can lie you. Like, he told me plain fact. He said, my grandfather was an Ifa priest. If you ask my sister, she will tell you. And so it can't be divorced from me. But I left it all. And then he said, even now as we are talking, I'm very sure my sister that you know heavily in Anglican church, her husband used to follow Obadari, said she has gone, I'm sure she has gone to do Opele and find out about me and you. Before she will have the confidence to tell me, okay, go ahead. I'm sure she has done it. That. So if you go to her house, and he did some things when we just got newly married that made me actually begin to believe him even more. There was a time we went to his sister's house to stay, and we were going to travel the next morning. And he called me at night and said, Biodun, tomorrow morning, this and this and this is what they are going to prepare for breakfast. Please, I'm begging you, don't eat out of the soup that they are going to cook that morning. Fresh. They are going to make chicken stew very fresh that next morning. Don't eat out of it. And please, I'm begging you, don't serve me from it. I didn't understand. I said, why? He said, just please, I'm begging you, that when they start serving it, just, you know how you would do it in the kitchen, and do it like that, and just take that other soup that they cooked at night. He told me this. So the next morning, I woke up really early because I was surprised. The house was built in such a way that there was a chicken that had been tied to very small black chicken. And very early, I noticed a lady came and picked it. So I asked her, I said, are you going to kill it? She said, one fell low. They want to use it. And she took it away and then came back with it killed, and they started making chicken stew. Just exactly as he said. So when we left, this happened in Umaro in Kwara State. So when we left, he was going back to Lagos. They took us back to Lagos. So his sister left me and him alone, and they went back. So it was then I had the opportunity to ask him what happened. He said, that chicken was kept for something. I said, but Chief Afolayan he's heavy Anglican. You know, Obadare, he used to follow Obadare. It's not like he was a believer under Obadare. He was on Obadare's team. This man I'm talking of, that's my sister-in-law's husband. I couldn't understand. He said, just put it aside, that they used that chicken. I said, what did they use it to do? He said, if I can't understand beyond that, he's not explaining to me. But did I serve him from that stew? I said, no. Did you eat from that stew? I said, no. He said, don't worry. It's because after I served him, his sister still served that stew and put beside him and told him, oh yeah, this one, I've just cooked it today. So make sure you eat it. And he said he thanked her in their language, but he didn't touch it.
Okay.
So
wow.
It made me feel that, we were on the same wavelength. That even made me feel that my suspicions, my dream, and his explanation were true. It was when everything was exposed, he now began to tell me. He actually faced me and told me, Shebi, you dreamt. Did you listen to what you were warned? He told me to my face. He told me to my face. I also faced him and told him, I said, you that went to your babalawos, didn't they tell you that I have been washed with blood and that my own was not chicken blood? It is the blood of the son of a king. Go and ask, what is more important? I started talking like that. I've been to a place where they thought I was a Ifa priest when I went to preach. Because that was the level we started getting to that. You did your Ifa, you did your kinikon with blood of chicken. They didn't tell you. Go and ask, what is heavier, the blood of a ram or the blood or human blood for it to do? Mine was better. Go and meet your babalawos, go and collect refund. This was the level, because he actually faced me and told me, I said, if you are accusing me for not being sensitive to the dream God gave me, let me tell you that all your combination of babalawos, they didn't warn you that this day would come. They didn't warn you. If Temi Badaron in World we got to that point, where we started hitting each other on a very deep spiritual level.
Wow.
Minister Mex.
Yes.
Sister Biodun, I want to say something. Sister Biodun said something that I don't want us to miss it. She said, we have not been trained as believers how to listen to our spirit, to the voice of our spirit. It is something that is glaringly lacking. Many times, something tells you that person you just met, you really don't want them in your life. they shouldn't be your friend. But you
Yeah.
sort of brushed it off and you're like, did I just imagine that? That was God warning you. And then you become that person's friend, and then Quanta happens. And then you're now wondering, how did that happen to me? What else was God supposed to do? Come out in a glory cloud? I
Well,
want us to
I would actually,
hold
if
on
you
I
see
would
to.
that
actually say
dream, you
that.
cannot be wondering because you were already warned. If you see it,
I would,
there's because you will know. You won't wonder that this was shown to me. And even Eve
Yeah.
came to him and was telling her again. It was like a confrontation. This is like a
Okay.
if
serious.
you
God really delivered her. This is
Mhm.
she
if if
actually, you
if
know,
Can I answer that question a little bit, Dr. Tolu? So
Mm.
the reason I'm not saying
ladies and
that's
gentlemen,
what.
we're like two
Sorry, I
two
know
hours
we've
30
gone
minutes.
far, but this is
Okay.
getting so interesting. I'm sorry. And the reason why Madame Biodu might not even see it like that way, I'm not saying that's how she felt,
Mhm.
but most times we women we don't see it as anything when we're in love already.
that's true.
You understand? Your mind is in that person because of the
That's
way
very
he
true.
has treated you first,
Yeah.
because of the way you have envisioned, and like, you know what, this is this man, I want to spend my time. Devil, look, I should say that you
That's
present
right.
yourself like this.
That's why I could
So,
even talk to him.
so
That's why I
sometimes we
dreamt and
don't,
I still went to him.
we
Yeah.
exactly, we don't listen to that mind because we already caught up in that web of the word love. So that's
Mm.
what happens most times. But I want to pray to God that people are watching us, and even us, maybe in businesses or different things. It is
Yeah.
very good. And that's what I'm learning these days. Listen to yourself. Listen to that small voice, what God is saying, before
It
you
is
do
called
anything.
it is called the spirit of discernment. God has
Yes.
placed that in every single one of us. In you, and you. How you
Amen.
listen to that voice, how you listen to that spirit matters a lot. It
Mhm.
tells you, but you can choose to ignore it and face the consequences. Or you can choose to listen to it and escape what you're supposed to escape. As Lillian is saying, some people hover over the word love. They just fall in love with a person, and especially I'm sorry, I'm speaking in relation to my generation or the younger generation, in fact. They just see a person, oh my God, he's handsome. I think I love him. Oh, I want to get married to this person. And poop, you get married to that person. And then you realize so many other things going wrong. So it's always important. Pace yourself, take your time before you make some major life changing decisions. And even after you've made those life changing decisions, my brothers and my sisters, this is what I want to say. Marriage is not a bed of roses. It is not. I'm sorry. Anybody can disagree with me on this. It is not a bed of roses. You're
Mhm.
going to have issues, but as long as you're willing to work together to
Yes.
make it better, it
Mhm.
shows that you are both on the same team, fighting for the same
Yes.
thing. But the moment both of you don't want to work it out anymore, this one is saying no, the other one is saying no, then there's nothing that can bring you together to say yes. I'm sorry. Not even deliverance can bring it together to say yes. It's not a bed of roses. It's not, I'm not saying jump and go get divorced immediately. No. If it's not working, if both of you have agreed it is not working, or one of you agree and say it's not working, I cannot do this anymore, and the other one consents to it, that's fine. You can do whatever you want to do. But please and please, don't jump and go and get divorced because you people feel you just got married and you feel, oh, the love is not as it used to be before. Especially when the child comes in, oh, the love, you don't love me like you used to love me before. Let's get divorced. No, I'm sorry. Sorry.
Can I say add something to what you just said, Minister Mex? You
Please go
know,
ahead.
Madam Biodu said something earlier, and she said, when you are willing to, because there are some people who could be married and even 10 years, 5 years, they are still having disagreement. If you're willing to seek help, if you're willing to talk to people who have been there a long time to advise you and say, okay, what is your recipe? What have you been using that is working for you, two of you? But most importantly, you should watch out for the sign of abuse that will
Mm,
drain you. If there is
mm,
no sign of that abuse that is going to drain you emotionally or
mm,
otherwise, that marriage, I mean, no marriage that they will tell you that, oh, there is no fracas. Definitely, yes. But like you said, the ability to work it out together. Because when you get married, the first year, they sweet. The moment you have babies, and the man too is trying to meet up with the bills of the house, there'll be a little shift. So
Mm-hmm.
the ability for the two people to come together and say, let us talk about it. Let's find a solution to bring the mojo back. Then it can work, you know.
Okay. Let's take this comment real quick from our. Let's take this comments from our viewers out there. We still have comments coming in. Let's begin with, okay. So we've taken this one. Samsoft, you still with us?
Hi, host. Good evening, everyone. Exactly. Thanks, Doc. Thanks, Doc. Women are no longer buying the nonsense talk about is a woman who builds the home. Oh, as a woman, you have to submit even when the man ties you like a goat and drags you. Stay submissive. Oh, men are
Polygamous in nature.
polygamous in nature, so you can leave because he cheats. Story from the gods. Women now are enlightened and now know what they can accept and when to walk away.
That is a good comment. But like Samsoft
Minister
said,
Max. Minister
yes.
Max.
Mm-hmm.
Auntie Biodumi has been put in the back room. Oh, is she back?
No,
She's
I
back.
brought her
Yes.
back up. Yes.
Okay,
I
all
brought
right, all right, very good. I just wanted to
Samsoft,
check.
go
All
ahead.
right.
Yes.
God bless you, Lillian. Our men are not taught how to be husbands.
And fathers.
Mrs. Emefiele, you just asked a very gaming question. Lack of prosper Lack of proper courtship results to disastrous marriages.
Oh yeah.
Did you see certain signs at the beginning but thought it was nothing?
Mm.
Most times, the idea that one is a believer is a dangerous deception. It
Mm-hmm.
marks the real person.
Mm-hmm.
People, especially
Mhm.
in Nigeria, hide under the check of Christianity to commit atrocities, to commit atrocious things.
Mm.
Hmm.
Biodun, you missed the glaring signal because you were in love and operating under influence, believer spells. Hmm.
Mm.
Under believer
I
spells.
don't understand that actually.
Yeah.
Eh, Chris, clarify that, please.
Under
Chris Uchenna,
believer
please
spell.
clarify.
What
No,
does
you
the
know
Okay.
that under believer spell is like, when like what is the Bible has been in your head. Oh, I have to stay with my husband, stuff like that.
I'm
No,
okay?
sorry,
I
but I
think
want I want
I
I want to
think
actually
I
say
think
something.
what
I want to say
Chris is
something about this
saying.
comment right there.
Sorry,
Before
I think
before
what
you say
Chris.
what you think. Before you say what
Operating
you
on the
think. That
yeah.
comment this comment, Chris says that she
Means
missed
the glaring
a
signal.
glaring signal. I'm sorry, I don't think she missed any signal. Yeah, come at me. Anybody can come at me, choose to come at me. But this is what I think. I don't think she missed any signal. I think what happened because God wants her to be at this point educating everybody watching her right now on how to make this world a better place. That's it.
Yeah, because
Sorry, what I
everybody.
wanted to add is that it's not that she missed any glaring signal. Don't forget, as a Christian who is very dedicated, your pastors are like, if you not quick deliver yourself, sometimes you even go and ask the pastor, that pastor, my husband is
But
doing chicken 5 days
she
a
didn't
week. What
ask her
did I
pastor.
do for? Eh?
She didn't ask her
So,
pastor.
no, when the
Yes,
pastor
I did.
confirmed, yes, when the pastor
I did.
confirmed
Okay.
that he is a four square
I did.
person, he gave her peace. So
I
she's like,
didn't only
okay,
go to the pastors in my church. I went to see a
exactly,
marriage counselor. I did
exactly.
follow the whole route.
Yes, so that gave her the
I
peace.
didn't do it on my own.
Exactly. So
Okay.
that gave her the peace because as a Christian woman, she has done all the necessary things. They've told her this brother, in fact, he used to be forefront in the seats before. So that kind of gives you the peace. So it's
So
not that,
now, so
you
now
know,
you've learned. So they learn
Doctor,
now. So now they've learned that even you don't listen to the man. All you do, you listen to God. Because God, she went to man and she went to God. And God spoke to her. but she listened to the men, the men of God. But she didn't listen to God because God
Doctor has
showed
been
her clearly.
quiet. Doctor has been quiet for a while, and it's scary.
Bring her in. Take me to this idea.
See,
Doctor.
no, because I didn't want to interrupt you guys when you were speaking. But first of all, I'm about to scandalize you.
Hey!
Marriage is a bed of roses. If you remember that a rose bush doesn't just have flowers, it has thorns. So
Yeah.
marriage is a bed of roses. There is the beautiful flower there doing its thing, looking pretty. And then if you stick your
Anytime
hand
you
in
see
the
Doctor
rose bush,
quiet like this, I know something
You
is
don't see
cooking
her
in
when they
there.
hold her glasses. You don't see when she
I
hold
know
her
the whole
glasses.
class is come for like this.
if you stick your hand in a rose bush, you will find out that marriage is a bed of roses. There are the
You're right.
roses
You're
and
right,
then there are
doctor.
the
You're
thorns.
right.
Now, the second thing I wanted to address is that this idea in our mind that divorce is a bad thing, it needs to go. It really does. Now,
Yes.
Sister Biodu said something. She said, even if you get married, the sooner you realize that you have made a grievous error, the only thing wrong, the only thing worse than making a bad mistake is to persist in that mistake. So this idea that, oh, we don't want to give people the license to jump and divorce early. Hold on. If after you marry a person, you wake up the next day and they're giving you fivefold ministry. I mean, they're hitting you. You've no business staying in that marriage. Because and God does not remember. I talked about this a few episodes back, this thing about God hates divorce in Malachi chapter 2. Maybe we need to reinvite it again.
I
It is not
know.
that God hates divorce. He did not like what those men were doing to their wives. I remember we read it from the beginning. He told them, I'm not listening to your prayers. I'm not receiving your offerings because you are not doing right by the wife of your youth. This has zero to do with abuse. So please, churches, we need to reevaluate what we're doing with the scriptures. We're twisting the holy scriptures. My Bible also says somewhere, I believe in Corinthians, I brought it up. I think I may have. Yep, 1 Corinthians 7:15. The Apostle Paul told the believers, he said, if the unbeliever departs, let him depart. A brother or a sister is not under bondage in such a situation. Please, you people, go and open your Bibles and see. Nowhere is a Christian bound to an abusive marriage. Nowhere, zilch. Nowhere are you supposed to put up with somebody putting their hands on you, somebody abusing you mentally, somebody abusing you verbally, somebody emotionally abusing you. No, abusers rarely, if ever, change. And there's no reason to sit there because we think somehow this is the holy way to go. Please, people, daughters of Zion are dying every day. We need to stop this.
Doctor, I have a
If,
And Sons
question
of
for you.
Zion too.
if there is
Yeah,
abuse,
I want to ask the
it
doctor a
needs
question.
to end. Go, sir.
The question is that now, you were talking about the abuse. My question is that what if the man is what will I look at? There's a word I'm looking for. Okay, the man is being abused, and
I know that
and
was
he
what I was
asks,
going to say.
and
I
he
know Lillian
and
knew where
he
it was
asks
going.
for a divorce. Watch this, because he asked for a divorce, and then the abuser, because usually the abusers don't like the person to go. The woman was like, "I love you. If you leave me, you break my heart. You break my heart. You have abused me." Then the woman might come again and says, "The man left me, abandoned me with my children." The man was running for his life.
No, it's okay.
No, what's
Is
the
it-
question?
It's okay.
My question is that the man can run away for his life, and what are you going to call that abuse when the man divorced the woman?
No,
If the
no,
man
no, no.
is fleeing for
No.
his life,
Running for
he's
his
not.
life.
No, if you see a trailer headed towards you and you step out of the way, are you abusing the trailer?
That's what I want to. I
It's
want to
not.
find out.
Let me say something. Like I
2
said,
minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes. We're running out of
okay,
time. 2
before
minutes.
by the time I was leaving, my ex-husband was spreading stories about me. He said he caught me. In fact, he told people that he caught me red-handed in bed with another man, which had never happened before. The person who is abusive will always spread stories about the other party.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what sex it is. A narcissist is a narcissist. There is no
Period.
female narcissist,
Period.
male they are the same. They act the same. The truth is, if you are in an abusive marriage, whether you're male or female, make sure you get little things to prove what you're saying. Because if not, even you will disbelieve yourself when you hear the stories going around.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Get recordings, get things. Make sure you always get that.
Proof. Yes.
Thank you very
And
much.
then
Thank
leave.
you.
Forget the stories.
All right. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it. You've heard it. We're trying not to take too much of your time. I know you people are enjoying this, but we want you to come back
It's
next
too
week.
late already.
Listen. Yeah? Churches out there, our pastors out there, you see, all these people on the panel that you're seeing right there, they've been pushing for us to shake your table. I've been trying not to shake the table too much. But watch out. We're coming your way very, very soon. I'm going to shake that table. Sorry, I can't help it.
That one,
We'll shake the table because
we're coming directly to them to shake their table.
yeah, we're coming directly to you to shake that table because churches have actually encouraged abuse. And from what our sister said while she was talking, this is what I want us to actually leave here with if we don't remember any other thing. There's a thin line between an abuser and the abused, because when the abuser abuses the abused at some point becomes the abuser, because that's all they know at that moment emotionally. So, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. If you've not subscribed yet, I'm telling you, if you have not subscribed yet, that button right there, hit subscribe so that you know when we're coming on next week, Friday. Hit the
And
notification
share.
tab and share. Share so that everybody would know about this.
Share it.
Next week, we're coming back with another powerful segment, and you're going to love it just like you loved this one. Our wonderful sister, I want to thank you very, very much for coming on the show. Thank you very, very much. God bless you. We thank you for these strong words that you've delivered today. I'm sure you've impacted a lot of people. A lot of people you have. Thank you very, very much. If I don't take this comment,
Thank you
if
for
I don't take
having
this
me.
comment, somebody is going to strangle me. So let's take this comment.
Please, let's hear it. I beg. This one, they're scaring Minister Mex.
No, Sam Soft.
I think Sam Soft is asking about those stories we hear from women saying, "Oh, he left me with the kids. He walked away from the marriage." It seems like the man is still being demonized for walking away from abusive situation, regardless of what. What do happen now, engineer?
Technician, take your time. Continue.
Regardless regardless because of the abuser
It's
being the
continue.
woman.
Because the
Because
abuser,
the
being
abuser
the
being the
woman,
woman is the
is
one
the
still
one
crying
crying
wolf.
wolf.
Yeah, not
Oh, okay.
coming from the way. That's what exactly. That's exactly what that was what I mean. The
Yeah.
question I was asking.
Can I say something with that, please? Because one thing I've found out in situations like this, and it happens a lot, is that many times some of the men put themselves in a vulnerable position. When a man leaves many times, they are always so scared to contact the woman again that they also leave totally without regard for the children. Whenever a man is leaving an abusive situation, I've had to advise a few men, if you are not giving contact with your children, go to court. Fight for your children. Fight to see your children, because I had to do that. If you are not, while you are fighting, open accounts in your children's name. Begin to deposit money into that account so that later on in life, whether you see the children then or not, you can prove to the children, look, I have never forgotten you. You've always been on my mind. I've always searched for you. I've always tried to find you. But many men, when they leave, it's easier for a man to cut off ties with his children than it is for a woman. That seems to be my experience so far. That even friends of mine who left abusive homes, men, I have to beg them to, look, contact the children. do this for the children. Go and do this for the children. Abiodun, the stress is, go and do it. Just go and do it. I have to tell a lot of them. And few of them actually do that. So that is, if you're able to do that and establish that, the fact that you've left the marriage does not mean you've left your responsibility as a father. You're able, then you can strike that balance.
Thank you very much. Showbiz Entertainment, thank you for joining the show. Don't forget to subscribe. We're not playing. So from our wonderful sister Lillian, who finally appeared on the show today. In 1 minute, what do you have to say before we reconvene for next week?
I don't know if that 1 minute will be enough for.
No, 1 minute. I'm timing it.
1 minute. I'm not going to even say anything. I just want to say thank you to Sister Biodu, and we'll just keep everybody in prayer. May God continue to strengthen every woman and every man too.
Yes.
Thank you. Balanced diet is very good for your health.
And by the way, everybody, Lillian has a show, Healthy Gist, on YouTube. Please and please, Healthy Gist. Follow Healthy Gist. Go watch her show, okay? From our wonderful doctor, the one and only doctor in town that know how to prescribe medication for me and Samsoft not to fight.
All right. If nothing else, learn to listen to your spirit. Learn to listen to your spirit. That's it.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And from my banter partner, my fighting colleague, who even before the show, he fought me. He didn't know they were watching him while he was fighting me. I had witness. He was abusing me.
You see that he's abusing me now.
You see, the abuser is abusing the abused. You see what we're talking about? You see it? Later, he will take me to court now. I want to fight for, I don't know.
Microphone.
I want to thank Sister Biodu, right?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Your story, your testimony was, in fact, I'm telling you, what you've just done, you've saved so many lives. Because you will not even know what you've done right now. You've saved so many lives. And I want to say thank you. And those of you that are watching, I'm sure that a story has blessed you, and then learn from it.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Sister,
you.
From me, I wanna actually pull Sister Biodu up to the front of the screen and say,
I'm sure they can see her very well. Exactly.
we can see her very, very well. Ladies and gentlemen, you see this beautiful woman right here, this beautiful woman who just brought this great advice and great story to you. It did not come easy. It came from a place where she was hurting, where she hurt in the past. It came from so many things, and she shared those stories with you. Woman of God, we want to thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming on the show. We value your time. We thank you for your story. We know that a lot of people learn from it. From the comment, you could actually tell, like, boom, boom, boom. That was beautiful. Thank you very much. Thank you. We hope to have you on the show again sometime where you will be part of a panel to advise, because there's a segment we want to have where we'll talk about marriage, things to note from relationship to courtship to everything, things to note, and because we want to avoid mistakes that leads to divorce later in life. That's the one good way of saying no to abuse, by avoiding it in general. So definitely we're gonna have you back on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. And from me, all I have to say is thank you for your time. God bless you. You guys have been wonderful audience. Me and Samsoft, if you notice, we did not fight today. Doctor did not need to come in.
And you know why we didn't fight? Because I spoiled him. I brought him to Alaska.
Forget about that one, ladies and
gentlemen. I deported him again too.
He starved me. Lillian, please, thank you for coming on the show. We appreciate your time. We know that it's not easy. In fact, we are the audience. Clap for Lillian, because I know it's not easy. Just clap for her try. Okay.
I better go sit down.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, it's Chat Room with Mex. Just see you next week. God bless you.
Good
Have a
night.
Bye,
wonderful,
everybody.
Night.
Thank you.
wonderful.
Ciao.
Bye.
Okay, God bless you and see you next week. 4 p.m. Oh, enjoy. Are we still live? We're still live. Hold on, people. Let me